Hey, everybody. Welcome into the building. Happy Wednesday. I'm just setting up all my stuff over here. Happy Wednesday. I'm glad to see you here. Just Trending Topics Wednesday, and we about to get into it, okay? You said lock Jessie Smollett's sister up. Oh, my. Oh, my. Okay. Lock Jessie Smollett's sister up. Now listen, guys, it is Trending Topic Wednesday, and for this trending topic, it is labeled, what about the kids? What's going on with the kids these days? And why am I saying that? Because on the docket tonight, we have Carlee Russell. Now, she done had her parents go up on that news station talking to the people, and she knew she was lying. She knew she was being messy. Parents going up there looking like straight fools because they did a whole press conference today. And you know what? That detective, the guy from the police department, he was cool, calm, and collected. And he had his game face on. You better shout out to that man from Hoover Police Department, because he said we're still investigating. He was real calm with his stuff. And he let y'all know there is no toddler to be worried about. All toddlers are accounted for in their homes in Hoover. So I don't know who she saw on that road, but we're going to get into it. Then we got a girlfriend locked up in Dubai. Her mother spoke to. Her mother all crying and sad. All she did was yell. No, all she did was yell in another country where it's not allowed. Come on, mama, I know that's your kid, but she messed up. When you go to another country, you better know the rules. That's why I don't play them games. When I go to places I don't know nothing about, I stay on the resort. And if I go on an excursion, I'm just the best, on my best behavior. Gonna lock me up in no foreign country. I don't even want to get locked up here. I definitely don't want to get locked up abroad enough, and you got to be out of your mind. Okay, so that's somebody else's kid we got to talk about. Then we got to talk about, this is a sad case. This mother, her daughter has a fight at the playground, okay? The mother comes to the playground, hands the daughter some acid to throw on the people. No, if you can't fight, then you don't take no weapons to have your kid win the fight. You take your kid to karate class the next week. Make sure she becomes a black belt so the next time somebody try to kick her butt, she has a one-up on them. But you bringing the kid acid? Like, these mamas have lost their mind. They're crazy. And that's why this Trending Topics is called, What About the Kids? Now, listen, people, we got to board this train, okay, because it's Wednesday, Trending Topics. So y'all know, come on now. You know what I need in the chat. And I hope y'all are not hopping this train. Okay, when I go back to count the tickets, I'm like, they got me again. People hop the train because the numbers don't math. The numbers don't add up. The math don't be mathing when I close out the live. Okay, 300 people watching and only 50 people purchased their ticket. Y'all messy, but then y'all be looking for me. Either you went on vacation, we missed you. Y'all ain't miss me because y'all be hopping the train. Now, come on now, Don. I appreciate you. Choo-choo. Y'all know what I need, okay? I need a what in the chat? A choo-choo. Is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got some stuff to talk about, okay? If you don't know, you better ask somebody. This trending topics is called What About the Kids? Now, I got to board this screen because people have been waiting on the platform. Let me bring the peoples in the building. Hey, Roya.
Listen, it was Jesse Smollett for me. Took me all the way out. But what I want to announce real quick before we get started, we want to do our best to stay on the track tonight and not flip the train over. I know this is a very emotional conversation, everyone, but we want to do our best not to use profanity, and I'm guilty of it too. We want to do our best not to use profanity and argue the situation, not the individual, because we are all possibly going to have very different perspectives on each subject. So let's get in tonight. Let's have a good night tonight.
Let's have a good night. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Roya. Hey, In My Opinion.
Hey, My Opinion, Sebastian.
Wait.
Hey, everyone.
Diva, I see a child. I see a toddler.
Oh my God, where?
Sebastian.
You need to stop.
You better call the YouTube police, okay? Listen, guys, I have boarded the train. All my train riders, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate y'all, okay? And guess what? It is full house. The train is packed. All right, so guys,
shout out to the Bahamas. We got somebody from the Bahamas. Woo-woo.
Disclaimer.
Hey.
We don't claim Carlee in Alabama.
Say that again.
I said disclaimer. We don't claim Carlee in Alabama.
Thank you, My Opinion.
Yeah.
We both are from Alabama, so we got to put that disclaimer out.
Come on now, Manuel. The train tickets are sold out. It's sold out, honey. We are full, packed house here. Everybody go on mute while I give the details to our first train stop story, okay? And we're going to get around to everybody, have our opinion. We're going to leave the Carlee Russell story to the end because, you know, it's a lot of moving pieces with that. So we're going to start out with this young girl, okay? They're preteens. You know, listen, y'all know I've been around a long time, okay? I'm 53. I've been around for a minute now. All right. And a long time ago, when I was growing up, there was this movie called 3 O'Clock High. I promise you, Google it. 3 O'Clock High. Okay. And it says, so 3 O'Clock High was pretty much the whole movie was about, they was in school the whole day. And the kids had a problem with each other. And they kept saying, you know what, at the school, you're going to get it. You're going to meet outside at the playground and you're going to get it. Okay, so it was all kind of stuff going on the whole day in school so they can avoid getting to that playground. Well, we got a preteen situation here. They at the playground. 2 girls get the fighting. Okay, 1 girl got beat up. The mother, hear me out, people. The mother comes and brings her daughter some acid. Where they do that at? Brings her some acid, and the girl gets to throwing it on the people. And then the girl that wasn't even fighting is the one that ended up getting the acid on her. Now, hold on. Let me share a screen so we can get into this story, because you know what? This mother needs to be locked up too. And I'm 2 seconds from saying that this mother needs to be locked up forever, because you don't get it. Okay? So let's see this here. Thank you, Post. Detroit girl 12 arrested for grisly acid attack on another kid, okay, at the playground. Now, before I read, I'm going to have to play this in 30-second clips because y'all know they're going to ding me. But let's play a little bit of this so y'all can see. Okay, hold on 1 second.
School playground on Sunday, July 9th, has now left an 11-year-old traumatized and in lots of pain.
My cousin and a girl, they had started fighting. And then once they got done fighting, she was like, I got something for y'all.
That something was a substance believed to be acid.
Her mother met her in the park, by the park, and gave her the substance, the chemical.
Okay, I got to pause it for a second. Ain't that thing precious? She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
got all of these acid burns on her because of some unstable mother. So let me just read a little bit, then we're going to listen some more. A 12-year-old girl has been busted for allegedly dousing another child with acid in a Detroit playground last week, state officials said. The preteen who has not been named publicly, was charged with 1 count each of assault with intent to do great bodily harm and felonious assault, the Wayne County Prosecutor Office announced over the weekend. At a preliminary hearing, the juvenile bond was set at $10,000, the office said. Let's hear another 30 seconds.
To throw on the kids. And she told the kids that's what they get for messing with her daughter.
All the kids were able to scatter quickly, avoiding harm. But De'Ara Summers soon realized she left her purse, went back to grab it, putting her in harm's way.
2 seconds after it hit me, it just like started burning.
De'Ara's brother was also at the park and called home to tell his mom what he saw.
Smoke was coming off her body from head to toe, and holes were coming in her clothes.
Woo, we're going to listen some more, but let me just read a little bit more because I got to stop it only for, YouTube purposes. The accused, who was also scheduled to appear before a judge on Wednesday, this is an extremely troubling set of allegations. Instant, horrible decision-making can have lifelong effects on others, okay? And yourself. This particular line right here is going to pertain to every story we're talking about tonight. Instant, horrible decision-making can have lifelong effects, and I'm going to add, on yourself and others. There's no excuse for this. Prosecutor Kim Worthy added in an official statement, okay? The charges against the 12-year-old stem from the seemingly random attack on, I'm going to call her De'Ara Summers, 11, on the playground at Vinar Elementary School on July 9th. Now, the little girl was playing with her siblings and a cousin when her cousin and the 12-year-old started fighting. So this girl right here wasn't even in the fight. It was her cousin, okay? And then she returned to the park, right? And that's because everybody got away at first, okay? And then before I say that, the alleged perpetrator's mother handed her a bottle of acid that she threw on De'Ara, who returned to the park to pick up her purse. 2 seconds later, it started like burning and went through my shirt, my shorts, De'Ara told the news. I was screaming and I was crying. She was hospitalized for 3 days and still has bandages on the severe burns on the back, legs, and arms. Look at her back. This is horrible. De'Ara now spends hours a day taking medication and changing her bandages. De'Ara's mother, Dominique, says she wants charges levied against the 12-year-old's mother. So do I. I know that a 12-year-old wouldn't have come up with something like that on her own. To even think of something so evil to do, she told the news, right? In an interview with Channel 7 Action News over the weekend, the concerned mother described how her daughter's injuries has changed the family's life. It takes maybe 2 hours, and what used to take 20 minutes getting dressed, she said. It takes about 2 hours to give her medication. I have to give her medication 30 minutes before she takes a bath. As of Wednesday morning, a GoFundMe started to cover De'Ara's medical costs, had almost doubled its initial $10,000 goal. That mother that gave that girl the acid is trifling. Now, let's hear a little bit more. I'm hoping, darn it, was it still playing? It was still playing. I meant to pause it, guys.
Go back up. You got to go back up to the top. Go back up to the top.
Okay, go back up. Okay. Oh, thank you, Roya. That's why I love you.
And he said that they were all running home from the park.
De'Ara was rushed to a local hospital with severe burns.
I had third and second degree all the way from my back down.
De'Ara is also having difficulties walking, and her mom is so emotionally overwhelmed. She has difficulties working.
No sleep, no eating, no nothing. Because I have to make sure my daughter's needs are met.
The family has started a GoFundMe account to help pay for the unexpected medical bills. Now, this family wants justice.
I'm really bothered by the fact that the suspects are still walking around freely.
Detroit police tell Fox 2 it's not their case because it took place on the property of a Detroit Public Schools Community District playground, and therefore DPSCD police are investigating. We reached out to DPSCD and are told police are still investigating. They also released a statement which reads in part, "The incident did not involve our employees or was it connected to a district or school event. This is a community matter involving two families that do not both attend our school district or the school." As this mom fights for justice, she says she's also fighting to make sure her daughter does not become depressed.
I just give her words of encouragement, let her know she's still beautiful. This is just a minor setback for a major comeback. She's gonna come up on top, and justice will be served.
In Detroit, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. And you see how in this particular situation, we was mad about Shanquilla, how they wouldn't do nothing. Now you told us some stupid nonsense. Well, they happen on the school property. They don't go to this school. It's not our business. It's not our business. This is a matter between two families. Excuse me?
That's what I said.
Roya, what are your thoughts?
Before I go too far hard in, first of all, I want to give kudos to the mother of this young girl, and I want to send prayers and strength to her because I cannot imagine what it was like to get a call that your daughter has been burnt 3rd and 4th degree burns, from another mother's child, that just horrible. Mm-hmm. As she said, it's hard for her to eat and to sleep. So we're praying rest for her and we're praying nourishment for your body because you have to be well in order to take care of your daughter so that she can get back well. And I love that she told her daughter, this is a setup for a better comeback. So yes, baby girl, this is your setup for your better comeback. To the mother of this child who was walking around with acid on her to harm anybody behind bars, you will be very soon. Because what mother, first of all, well, I don't want to say what mother because there are some parents who promote it, but I think it is horrible for a parent to promote fighting another child, no matter what. Especially if you're there in the presence. Why are you going to allow your child to fight? Now, this young little girl, she does not look like a bully to me. She don't even look like that would be in her. She didn't have nothing to do with this
fight. The one that was fighting
in the fight. So I can't even say, well, she was probably bullying the girl on the side or she was probably amping it. I can't even say that because it doesn't give that look. It doesn't give that energy. She was going back to get her purse. So, to the mother who was carrying the acid, we looking for you. We looking for you. Because you got some debts that you need to pay. I personally think that charges need to be filed, and also she needs to be paying the debts of this young girl's hospital bill. Because if it wasn't for you and the decision that you chose to give your child acid, we wouldn't even be in this predicament.
So sad. Felicia, what are your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hey. Yeah, there's a lot going on out here. A lot going on. First of all, I'm very sorry what happened to this little princess and to all these kids. They were traumatized out there. One of the things I always encourage parents to do is get their kids into organized summer camp programs so that they don't have to be in these environments. And, a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but I live in the hood and my children don't play in the public park. And that's one of the reasons why, because things can go bad quickly. And now this little girl, for the rest of her life, she looks at these scars and she feels, hey, I was unprotected. This big person came out and did this to me because she realizes, I'm confident, that it wasn't the child, it was the mother. And for the mother, I have no words.
This is so sad, and now they're playing this game. Not my problem with the police department. I'm not one to say quick to sue, but this mother need to sue the state. She need to sue everybody. Excuse me. it's a matter between families. No, my child got acid thrown on her. I don't care that they didn't go to that school. Do you have a sign up saying nobody can go to the park unless they go to the school? In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Oh, real quick, I'm sorry. Yes. And this is the reason why people in our community don't call the police or don't feel safe with the police, because you have the audacity to say that this ain't in my jurisdiction, so we don't have anything to do with this. Mm-hmm. You're the police. Mm-hmm. You are the individuals that we're supposed to call when help is needed. But mm-hmm. y'all don't want to help?
In my opinion,
it's sad that a mom would get involved in kids' fights, because as a mom, we all know that kids will fight one minute and be back friends the next.
Come on.
So for you to bring something as dangerous as acid to a kid's fight and put it in your child's hand, baby, you deserve to be up under the jail. This is sad.
And yes, Claire, I'm so sorry to hear that, because Claire said that, you know, she got, let me go back to it really quickly. She said, I had boiling hot water thrown at me when I was 16. I suffered 3rd-degree burns. It's so painful. I can only imagine what she is going through with acid burns. Yes, Claire, sorry to hear that. Thank you for sharing. This is insane to me. This is insane. And you know what? I really feel like this freaking mother should be locked up almost over the child, because you put it in your daughter's hands.
And if she put it in her hands, she probably demanded that she throw it, because no child knows what to do with that. Throw it. I could just, yeah.
Well, Nikki, what are your thoughts?
Oh, Lord Jesus. I didn't even know this happened. I've been at work. I literally just got home. By the way, my husband's like, there, because I told him to go get my iPad. I'm like, I need to get into Diva's thing. He's like, babe, they only talk about you. I'm like, I'll be there. Give me 8 minutes. My GPS. I didn't even know this. It's so tragic, and I hate saying this, but it's beyond true. Just in the field of work that I'm in. You know, I've worked with children and families since I'm 22 years old. So what's that, 20 years? It's I hate to say it this way, but it's because it's so common. It's just kind of like I don't want to say you get desensitized to it, but you're just not shocked anymore. You know, I will say the one part that is shocking to me is the fact that the mom went and got the acid, because I just heard about this from what you showed. I didn't know anything about this.
Right.
So the first thing that comes to my mind is, who has acid at their house? Like, how do you even, I don't even know what you would use it for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only really have like cleaning supplies. I would not just have that randomly. So to me, then it feels premeditated in a way. So I don't know if I wish I knew the whole story, because I can't understand whatever happened. I know this little girl that you played the video for didn't have anything to do with it. She just was, I guess, a bystander or whatever, came back to get something.
Wait, hold on, guys. Everybody's saying something is wrong with the audio. They saying it's skipping.
Oh, my audio?
No, not. I don't think it's just yours. I think they mean in general.
The video?
Yeah,
it sounds fine to me.
Yeah, me too. I can hear everything.
Maybe it's their device.
I mean, if you listen on another device, you think, because everybody keeps saying something's wrong with the audio.
Yeah, it's skipping. That's what they're saying.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, she's saying more better saying the audio is skipping. Everybody's saying the audio.
Is it something with the streaming?
If you listen on another device, is it skipping?
Let me see. I have my iPad in my phone.
check your iPad.
It's fine. I hear it.
Oh, you hear?
I hear it. It's fine.
Okay, well, keep going with Nikki. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it says it on my end. Okay. It's fine on my end too. But so in my mind, I'm always thinking, just because of my training, what was happening before this happened, so that I could get people to know what we need to do moving forward. So that's the confusing part to me. So if my child came to me and said, you know, let's say hypothetically, this bully, what it seems like this other child, and said, you know, she was being bullied or something happened to her. I grew up in the South, so the way our parents taught us was basically like, if somebody does something to you, you don't let them punk you, you go, you whoop their butt, whatever kind of scenario. But it was never, extreme. To me, this is extreme, and it feels premeditated to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so that's the part that's very scary. The other thing is this mom, if everything that they're reporting is true, she don't ever need to get out of jail. You are a danger to society. Like,
That
and
part.
I am a person who believes wholeheartedly. You know, I always get in here to talk about I'm a social worker. I honestly do believe in the bottom of my heart, everybody deserves a second chance. But there are a few exceptions to that. When you are intentionally going out of your way, not only to hurt a person, because everybody, all of us have felt a way about somebody at some point in your life, but when you're teaching your child to go and do bodily harm, extreme bodily harm, because it's one thing to like fight with your hands because somebody tried you at one thing. I don't even like that. It's a whole nother thing to go and get something that can truly, you know, change someone's life for the remainder of their life. Like, you don't get to be like, okay, now I healed up. You're always going to have those scars. You're always going to have that reminder, you know, because of those scars. You're never going to get away with it. And I don't know who the mom of the victim, I don't know who she could sue, but I do know you guys are talking about like I guess the jurisdiction, and I hate that, but I know that that's in place for a reason. But I hate the pass the buck mentality of, oh well, it wasn't us, and so we need to just make sure don't nobody come towards us. And it's like, I get that you do have these laws in place or policies in place, but my first thing to do would be like, how do we help? How can I help first?
Exactly.
And then if
no,
I
you can
can't
clearly
help,
say, oh, it's a family matter. No, this is beyond family.
right.
This
That
girl
to
is
me, I don't get that. I mean, I understand politically or whatever, you might not financially could take responsibility for it, which is probably why they're saying, well, it's not us, because then they don't want to have to financially do whatever they need to do to go through it. Plus, it's the manpower. But to me, you're a human first. So my thing is, do the human thing first. Let's get this child taken care of. Let's figure out, let's investigate whoever we need right now on the ground that's going to take the information. You do that, and then you pass it along to whoever the jurisdiction is that needs to, you know, actually follow through with everything else. So I just feel like, just shut up. Like, if you can't say anything that's, we're here to support the family during this tragedy, just don't say anything. Like,
I agree with you. The mother needs to be locked up. And by the way,
forever. And I'm usually not that person, but I just think what you've taught your child, it's scary to me to think this is what you're showing outside to the whole world. I'm scared for whatever the little girl saw on the inside that nobody knows about.
That part. And how much acid did you bring? Because what happened was, she initially threw it at all the group of kids there, but they got away.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious.
Oh my God,
the only reason why this young lady got hit with it is because she came back from her purse. So that means that girl was still there. The girl and the mother just sick.
So is she? I'm just asking real quick because I just don't know. Were other people injured or just her?
Just her.
Oh my God.
Just her. And only because she realized she left her purse and she went back to get it. And unfortunately, when she went back to get it, she walked right back into harm's way. It's terrible. The skin grafts and healing after that that hurts the most. It takes a long time to heal. Thanks, everyone. I feel so you feel so bad for that poor girl. Yeah, we all do. Adele, what are your thoughts? You're on mute.
We can't hear you, Adele.
Her sound.
I think she's saying come back to her.
I'll come back. Juanita, your thoughts?
This is just awful. I mean, what mother in their right mind would do harm? That's just like you doing harm yourself to a child. What kind of example are you setting for your child? So I'm like everybody else. Well, if she got bold enough to bring acid for her daughter at a little children's fight, what else is going on in your household? Something's wrong there. And she needs to be thrown under the jail. Her and her daughter. Her daughter needs to go to juvenile, and she needs to go to prison. Because that's bodily harm. And that little girl's a pretty young lady. And like I said, she don't look like she got a violent streak in her. She's just an innocent bystander. And going back to get her purse.
Yeah. You saw in the tears in her eyes.
They said she is the bystander. The New York Post said that she is the bystander. It was her relative who had an altercation with the girl.
No, we know that.
Yeah, but she still was innocent. I mean, she didn't have it. I don't think she had anything to do with it, did she, Diva?
No, she didn't. She was there. It was her cousin
Okay.
who had the fight with the girl. And if you
Right.
read
That's what I
more
thought.
articles, the girl lost the fight. So
Okay.
I don't know at what point did the girl maybe call her mother and tell her mother like this is what happened, and her mother shows up with acid. And who just has acid in their house?
Exactly.
And you
That's
have
just
that much. So that tells you the mother, to me, in my opinion, is a little sinister anyway. Who here has acid in their house?
who keeps. Yeah. That's
What do
awful.
what do you use it for?
Mm.
That's why I
Very
was saying it's
That's all I
premeditated.
got to say, Diva. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. Go
That's
ahead,
just
Adele.
that's just awful.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of what everyone's, including the previous speaker here. I squarely look towards the mom because, first of all, she's an authority figure. If you're at work and your boss tell you to do something, chances are you're gonna do it because that's the authority. Same as her daughter. I'm not saying she's completely exempt, but a 13-year-old is not going to just decide not to do what their mom says. On top of that, I feel, thinking about what is it that else that she's taught her? Like what else has she, like I almost feel like they need to take her out of that home.
Mm.
Yeah, and get her some kind of assessment classes. Not so much punish her, but to figure out where she's at and what they can do to help her, ideally. But the mom, I feel she needs to be punished for this. She basically assaulted a young woman. She just used her daughter to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hired someone to commit a crime, to actually attempt murder or whatever you want to call it. I would be held responsible for it, right? So just because she used her daughter to do it doesn't mean that she didn't do it. So it's one of those things, and I also think the reason why these people don't want to take jurisdiction for this is because it's involving kids, and anything with kids is kind of sticky, and they don't want to be the one in the forefront to mess it up. But at the end of the day, when things have to do with a lot of issues to do with Black people, it's already a sticky situation, and they're making it even worse by trying to play around with this. What difference does it make? You're both in the same area. If maybe you should get together and try to figure it out. Why should it have to be about the school board or the police itself?
I agree. And like
Yeah.
you said, you know what this mother is, she gets an F as a parent, and you are correct. That kid does not need to go back to that household at the end of the day. And the mother needs to get locked up also. You know, Ruthie, Arman, thank you for your comment here. And you are correct. The pain burn patients experience is unbearable. Unbearable. I worked in the burn ICU the first 6 years of my 30-year nursing career. Well, God bless you, girl, 30 years. Burns are painful and terribly disfiguring, and they're lifelong, 100%. I don't remember the exact date, month, or year, but I interviewed a young lady that she got burned. She got burnt because, and that's why we also have to be careful with, in the summer, if you're cooking with the grills, are you back there deep frying those turkeys? Because things can go bad in a split second. So she had on a wig, and I think they did one of those fire pits in their backyard. And all of a sudden, a spark, just a spark from the fire pit, had caught onto her wig. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. And her husband, she said, because she said you go in panic mode. Her husband jumped on her, and so she can get down on the ground and kind of roll. Burn victims really go through a lot. Now, I will say this, of course, I wouldn't want this young lady to get burned anywhere, but to God be the glory, it didn't hit her face.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
To God be the glory. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
This is so sad, especially for me, because growing up, there has been a situation similar that I know in the neighborhood where someone has been gotten burned. Um, but I did more research into this, and there are charges for the 12-year-old girl who did do the acid throwing.
Okay.
She is being charged by the police and everything. Also, the mother has no access to the child at the moment. She and the bond is set at $10,000. I really hope this girl becomes victorious because it affects me hard. I feel so bad when bystanders, innocent people, get into people who don't get into the mess of people who don't who are not doing the right things. It's just very sad. This girl was just going back to get her purse, and then she had to have it. She was at the wrong time in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's so sad because burns hurt. Just imagine a trampoline burn and multiply that by 500. That's how much this girl's probably feeling right now. It's insane, and the kids nowadays they don't fight with hands anymore. Now they fight with knives. They fight with acid, as we see. They fight with a whole bunch of things, and it's social media as well. They fight with so many different things now. Now it's no longer with hands. It's with chemicals, substances, and this is getting out of hand. Certain people are not every child is supposed to, well, not every parent is supposed to have a child. It needs to be said. Not every parent is supposed to have a child, and every child deserves to have a parent, but not every parent is fit to have a child. This is the world that we live in, sadly. I hope she has a great future because these scars will always be with her for the rest of her life. Sadly, hopefully but she will always have them. Not even the physical scars, the emotional ones that she's gonna endure. Just knowing that day she was burned. Every year that passes on from now, she's going to think of being burnt. This is
It's
so
very
sad.
sad. So, K, yes, I could get you saying this, right? We all have cleaning fluids with acid in the house or garage, but this woman had a straight bottle of acid.
But ours have a base in it. The
Right.
acids that we have in our house won't burn us as much as this one. Like, for example, bleach. Bleach won't burn someone's skin to the highest extent as this one, what this woman had.
Yeah. Yeah. This is crazy. This is crazy. Leo, what are your thoughts?
It is sad. It is very sad. It breaks my heart for this young girl. I remember Charlemagne the God always say people in their emotions make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. And
Mm-hmm.
these kids out here fighting, it does not warrant that you got to give a bottle of acid to your baby to go and fight somebody with. I can remember I grew up in a neighborhood and I went to an all white elementary school, and then I was transferred and bused to a black school. And when I tell you we had to fight every day, we fought all the time, but it was with our hands. It was not with weapons. We always fought. And I learned a lot from that experience on how to manage my feelings, how to manage my emotions, and how to manage volatile people. It is so sad that these kids, I did a stint also as a substitute teacher. And I'm going to say this, kids are bad. These kids are bad, but their parents are worse. And I do not blame this young lady that threw the acid. I blame the parenting. I really, really do. The parents are worse than the kids. They are worse than the kids. The kids are unmanageable at this point. It is no way that an adult would give a child acid to throw on some other babies. That don't even make sense to me. Where they do that at?
True.
I don't even understand. I can't even compute why was this a decision? How do you do this? I just don't understand it. It breaks my heart. And once again, Diva, I'm gonna agree. Even though this little girl is suffering, thank God that acid did not get her face. Thank God. And another thing too, I'm gonna say this as well, and I'm gonna end my comment. I knew a little boy when I was coming up. His mama had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend burned the house down, the apartment that they was in. And this young boy suffered third-degree burns almost all over his whole body. He survived. His face, his body, everything was scarred. But he did survive it. But he was an angry person after that. I know him as a grown man, and he was mentally disturbed after going through the experience of that burning because he was in so much pain
for years, and it is he still have to go in for surgeries sometimes because of those burns. I think he's had like 30 surgeries. He might be in his 40s now, and he's had like over 30 surgeries, and he was mentally disturbed from that. This little girl is going to suffer for years, not just physically, not just emotionally, but mentally too. And I'm gonna pray for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trent, thank you for the super chat. He said, lock the kid up too. I say throw the baby out with the bathwater, literally. Whew,
Well, she is getting locked up. She already has charges.
No, I know she has charges. I read that in the article, in the $10,000 bond. You know, in this particular case, because the mother literally handed this to the child. I'm not saying the girl is not wrong for throwing it, but what chance do you stand when the person that's supposed to lead you, direct you, and teach you is putting it in your hands and saying, do it? Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do something with this child, but I really feel like that mother should serve a whole lot of time, because you are charged with raising this young individual and help molding their mind.
Amen.
And you're giving them a bottle of acid. And listen, she was trying to get all the kids at the playground that was there. Imagine if she was able to get this on the other ones. Oh, Denzel, what are your thoughts?
This is a hot mess. Hot mess. I feel sorry for the little girl. You know, she's a precious little girl, and I feel sorry for the mom too. And thank the Lord it didn't hit her face. And thank the Lord that she's still alive, and I'm praying for them. But the mother that gave her daughter that acid, she needs to go to prison for the rest of her life.
She does.
For the rest of her life. What kind of parent is she? And I'm gonna tell you something. Some people don't need to be parents. Some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And people might disagree with me, and that's fine. But this is my opinion. I think this is how I feel. The girl, she needs to go to juvie. She need to be locked up too, because she sounds like a bully. And so this is a sad situation. But that the mother, she's in danger. You're in danger, girl.
Yeah. The mother is a piece of work. The mother is really a piece of work. Now, listen, I have heard, because somebody had the comment earlier where they said there are mothers that said, if you don't go beat that person up, I'm gonna beat you up. It's this type of mentality that's putting an illness and a sickness in your child that is eventually going to become an adult.
Right. Diva, did you hear me? Did you hear me? Because the StreamYard on my phone, it was like shifting, like it glitched.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I was just making sure. Can I say one more thing too?
Uh-huh.
We gotta stay prayed up, because we live in a sick, evil world. We live in a sick, evil world. We gotta stay prayed up.
We do. We do. Now, let me say this, Trent. Thank you for the super chat. I do know that, they don't come all the time to my house, so y'all don't be thinking I'm sitting on the bankroll over here. But when the cleaning people come to my house every now and then, they do have the boric acid, because it clears off, a lot of stuff when they're cleaning. They do have the boric acid, but this mother is scary. This mother is scary to me, and I don't think she had it for any cleaning purposes. I think that mother had that on hand for purposes as such. And I think the mother is very sinister, and I think the mother handles every single battle in a very negative way.
Exactly. And
I agree.
I feel as if that I want to know how would she feel if someone threw acid on her child.
Ooh.
I know, right? Or on her.
It
Ooh.
needs to be said.
Right.
People
Right.
like that they're usually sociopaths, so they don't feel sorry for you.
You're right. You're right.
If she has that as a true diagnosis, let's just say hypothetically, people like that, if that's her diagnosis, she's not gonna. It's how they don't feel that. Unfortunately, there's a small part of our population that's not. They're not gonna feel sorry for you. They're not gonna care about how it's gonna impact you, your family, on and on and on. They don't care about stuff like that. So don't even put that in your brain. If that's her diagnosis, if she is in fact a
Yeah.
sociopath.
All right,
Yeah.
guys, let me move to the next story. Saz K said, does anybody remember the story about David? No, I don't know. You got to give me a little more details. I don't know what the story about David. I'm not sure. Either, you know what? This is a sad story. Praying for the young lady, beautiful young girl. I feel bad for her mother, and I could understand how her mother's saying, like, how can she work? How can she work when now she has a child where she got to give her medicine all the time, make sure that she's okay, and help her with her bandages and her wounds and all of that? I mean, I know the mother's sick to her stomach.
It's sad.
Very sad. Thank you for the super chat. Acid can be found literally anywhere because it's the number one ingredient soap makers use when making soaps. Yeah, I mean, whew, all I can say
Yes,
is
but
wow.
the pH level, the acid in soap the pH level is higher, which makes it less effective on your skin. This
Right.
is pure acid,
Hmm.
y'all.
Yeah.
Pure acid. When
Right.
this touches your skin, it's like a trampoline burn times 500.
The baby came home smoking, y'all. She was
Yeah.
smoking.
Sad. The smoke was coming off. The hose was going in her clothes. She said she immediately started crying and screaming in pain.
Jesus.
The woman was crazy. And then you had to sit there and I'm sure you saw this little girl as an adult. You saw this little girl crying and screaming. And she probably didn't even tell her daughter to stop because that's a lot of burns all on her back, her legs.
And her arm.
We gotta move on because you know what? I'm getting very
I'm
emotional.
finna start
Okay,
cursing.
so somebody Roy, Google for me because I want to know what Saz K is talking about. She said David Google David burn victim. That must be another sad story. Thank you, Saz K. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story. You know, I just had to bring that to you guys. Okay, so the next one is this young lady that went to Dubai. Let me say this. A lot of times it's there, Roy. Okay, let me pull it up. Before we move on. Oh, this is reminding me of some. I do remember this face. I forgot what happened to him.
Dave.
What happened to him though?
He was burned by his father.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. Sasuke, thank you. I do remember that story. That was horrific.
Sad.
But I forgot, why did the father do it again? Why did the
I
father
forgot.
The parents were divorced and in conflict over custody. Oh, Charles gave his son a sleeping pill. He fell asleep and he poured kerosene on the bed.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to take this down. I do, Sasuke, I appreciate you over the child custody. I appreciate you. I do remember that story. I do remember that story. It was horrific. And his own father did it. His own father did it.
A shame.
Ooh, child. People are sick. We got to stay prayed up. I think you said that, Denzel, right?
Yeah, we gotta stay prayed up. People are sick and evil.
Sick and evil. So I'm pulling the train to the next stop. And this stop is this girl that went to Dubai. And she got into an argument in public over the rental car. She left, something happened, had an accident, whatever. The point I'm making is a lot of people now, everything is done for social media. Okay. They want to get over to the exotic countries and stuff. And all they want to do is snap, and post, or say, you know, I'm over here in Dubai doing this or doing that or whatever. Let me tell you something. People think that we don't have freedom in America, right? They have no clue. No clue. We have so many more rights than a lot of people do in other countries. We get away with the most. And our last story is going to prove that. Because if this Carlee Russell would have did this in another country before, as soon as she would have walked up to the door, they would have snatched her up, locked her up, and asked questions later. You better ask somebody.
We're not going to go there right now.
We're going to, that's our last story. But I'm just saying, when you go somewhere, how do you not do your due diligence and figure out some rules and regulations about where you're going? Listen, I don't even really like to go where the money exchange is different. Because I always feel like I'm getting ripped off. It's $5 for us, but I got to give them $500 of their dollars. It don't make sense to me. I really be feeling like they ripping me off.
No, Diva. What you do is you use your bank. Yeah. Yes, because then as long as they don't have fees, then the transfer rate a lot of times is free. So that's
but still I can't stand it. I just feel like I'm getting ripped off. They be like, well, what you giving me? American dollars or dollars? Which one? Because if it's your dollars, give me $5. If it's this dollars, give me $500. Huh?
But they feeling the same way about you handing them money that don't really work in their country.
Yeah, but they like our money because it's worth more. Our dollars.
This is true. You're absolutely right.
More than theirs.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you in general, I don't like it. And sometimes, you can go get their money as soon as you land or whatever. All I'm saying is, my point is, come on now, know what you're doing. Know what you're doing. Know where you at. And you can't go somewhere with your boobs and stuff hanging out, and they don't play that in that country. Because you will get locked up. And ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you from the law. No, it does not. In Jersey, we could turn on right in most places, on red in most places. We could turn on red in a whole bunch of places in Jersey. Go to New York and play that game, and you will get a ticket. Because there's not turning on red in New York, okay? So you got to know what you're doing. Just like in some countries, you can't drive. You drive on the opposite side of the road. First of all, ignorance is bliss. Listen, that's why I'm telling you right now, I don't really even get no rental car when I go to some of these places. Where's the taxi, the transfer bus or whatever? No, I'm not doing. When I go somewhere else on vacation, I'm not doing the most. Take me to the resort, and I'm not leaving. And I'll go on an excursion here and there.
Why are you going then, ma'am?
Because I'll go on an excursion.
You going to just be at the resort?
No, let me tell you something. The resort got everything. When I just went to Grenada, I had massages, I had food, I had it all. I had scenery, I had the beach. What else do I need? I don't need to go up in your neighborhood to meet the natives.
The locals,
they don't care about
but
me.
They know where the good food at, though.
I don't give a darn.
They know where the seafood is.
Whatever is on the resort, that's what I'm doing.
Why are you in another country then? So you're the lady.
Okay, you know what? Let me share this article. Hold on one second, because you're going to be locked up just like this girl right here in Dubai. And then I've been to Dubai. What happens is, your body and your mind is used to doing what you're doing. And here in America, we could pop off. What you say to me? You better give me my change and give me my money. When you go somewhere else, if they rip you off, you got to chalk it to the game. Get back to your hotel and shut your mouth. I don't know if you really go to the police.
I don't want to fight with you today.
I'm trying to tell you, don't play around.
Stop with the generalization.
Listen, stamp my thing. Get me back through customs and get me back to Jersey.
So I know that's right.
You want to be the lady to go to Sandals, but you want to go to a foreign country, but you want everything Americanized at the country that you're going to. So you want nothing to do with the country.
Let me talk to me. I know I have everything. Let me tell you something. When I went to Jamaica, I was with the locals, but you want to know why I was with the locals? Because I had friends that are from Jamaica, and they called their people to come to the hotel and get me.
That's the best time.
But I'm not. No, hold on now. Oh. If I did not know the locals that came to pick me up, I wasn't going.
No, that's what I'm saying. You did it right. You knew the people. Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not going to just go roaming. No. Just like those people, they come here and they all down on 42nd Street in New York and 34th Street. They don't know what they doing. They don't know the different money. They in the store trying to buy something and they just showing the people all their money and telling them, you take how much it is.
That's what they do. That's exactly what they do.
I know that's what they do because I worked in retail my whole life. And I used to tell these people, you're going to get robbed. You're going to get robbed.
I went to New York. I didn't get robbed, Diva.
Because if you just open in your
You're from America.
Well, hundreds of dollars. And
New York is a whole nother.
You take out of my hand how much I owe you. Get out of here. Okay. Hold on one second. The Houston woman faces jail time for screaming in Dubai. Okay. She should have asked somebody.
Did you say Houston?
Yes.
Yes.
She from my city too?
Nikki, let me tell the story. A Houston woman, faces jail time for screaming in Dubai. A popular social media influencer and truck driver from Texas has reportedly been stuck in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates for months after she was arrested for allegedly screaming in public. Police are believed to have confiscated her passport, meaning she cannot leave the country, okay? On Instagram, she's called Sassy Trucker. Well, now the Sassy Trucker is stuck in Dubai, okay? So the Houston woman, Tiara Allen, could now face some prison time. After being charged with the alleged crime, her mom, Tina Bassett, told local news station Fox 26 the incident is said to have occurred during a dispute between the 29-year-old and a male employee at a car rental firm. Laws on conduct in public in Dubai are very different than those in the U.S., and the Department of State has warned Americans who consider visiting the predominantly, Muslim country that public decency and morality laws throughout Dubai are much stricter than they are in the U.S. Listen, all she had to do was watch Sex in the City. I think it was 2. You better do some research, girl. Tiara, you 29 now. Come on now. Now she's been stuck in Dubai. So illegal activities include homosexual relationships, public displays of affection, dressing immodestly, and swearing or arguing in public, according to an adversary issued by Travel from Holiday Extras, okay? Allen, who is originally from San Diego, California, is known online for running a social media account across various platforms called The Sassy Trucker that documents her journey. Well, who's documenting her journey in jail? Who's documenting now? Sassy Trucker. Now, I ain't even going to go through the rest of the story because her mother's another one out there crying, woe is me. Why my daughter? Why did this happen? Why did she get locked up? All she did was argue. No. You better know the rules. You should have shut your mouth. I start at the bottom. Denzel, what are your thoughts?
That is funny. Did they really call her Sassy Trucker?
That's what she calls herself.
Oh well, she ain't no Sassy Trucker no more.
Listen.
Before she went to Dubai, she should have did her research.
Come on now.
And see what their rules are.
That part.
So now she's stuck in Dubai.
Uh-huh.
And that's her fault. She trying to act like that you can. She think, okay, just because you're in America, you can do that in Dubai. No. Because different countries, they have different rules. And like I said, she should have did her research before she went to Dubai. I hope she learns now. She should have listened their rules. That's their rules, not hers. She should have listened and see what happened. She messed herself up.
Now she's stuck like truck.
Now are they gonna ban her?
I don't know. Hold on now, Leo. What are your thoughts?
Y'all basically already said it. I do know of some African nationals that I have worked with some years ago, and they would speak about how Americans was always acting so entitled. They feel like everywhere they go, American law and the Constitution travels with them on their back, and they can act any kind of way in other people's country. And that is an air of Americans. And I'm sure she had that air that she think that she can just say and do whatever she want, like she home in Houston. And now she done got learned. She's sitting in detainment, and now she can't even leave. I don't even know whether or not they offer you legal representation when you are detained in Dubai. That's another thing too. Even if you do get in trouble, of no fault of your own, let's just say something happens, you don't even necessarily know the laws of how representation works. If you can hire an attorney, do you even speak the language? Do you have anybody? I don't even know if there's an embassy in Dubai. How is it that you would be able to get yourself out of this jam? I feel bad for her, but it's too bad. I mean, it's just simply too bad. My family is now trying to organize a trip to go to Africa. And I always say this too. Being a woman in America is different than being a woman in other countries. Mm-hmm. It is so many freedoms and so many things we take for granted as being Americans. We love to run our mouth about what we don't have and what we ain't got. But what we do have the ability to do is to do what? Run our mouth. We can run our mouth against the government. We can run our mouth. We can do all types of protests and all kinds of things that we are free to do in America, and ain't nobody gonna bother you. To protest verbally and to be outrageous in other countries, it is not a safe thing to do. It is not safe. You don't even know how she's being treated. In Dubai, they always want to give out an air of opulence and excellence, and that they don't have no riffraff running their streets acting a fool. They don't have homeless panhandlers on the corner. They don't do that kind of stuff in Dubai. You don't even know where she's at or what she's doing. She might be in a hole somewhere. It is the luxury. It is the luxury that, and the air of being everything is expensive and people have money and everything is over the top. When you get detained, she in some hole somewhere getting bread and water, if she's even able to get that.
Come on now. That's why shut your mouth. Really, shut your mouth. Nikki, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have been to Dubai. I went there last year. Me and my husband, and I completely, well, let me just say this. Even when me and my family or me and my husband go on vacation in the United States, I want to know, like, we went to Disney. What is the crime rate in what is it, Kissimmee near Disney? So I would say we can't just say it's over there, because I'm gonna look up the crime rate no matter where I go, to New York, to New Jersey, wherever it is I'm going. I need to know, because there's bad people everywhere. What I will say though is I do try to inform myself, like I just said. I do try to inform myself, especially going there, because it's so far. They don't have necessarily the same rules and regulations like you were saying, Leo. But what my biggest thing was, I want to respect these people and their culture, because it doesn't necessarily mean that my culture and their culture are gonna like be fluid. So I informed myself as much as I could. The only thing that I could remember that was like illegal is stuff like, dressing inappropriately. But mostly it was just kind of like, don't take pictures of like, I would say like government buildings, something like that. You would go to jail for something like that. That's why I don't believe this story. I believe this lady, whoever she is, was being completely outrageous, because the whole dress code thing that you guys was bringing up about, you can't wear this and that. At my hotel, the people was walking around in they, Chanel 2-pieces. To me, Dubai is more like Vegas. You can't have prostitution in Houston legally, but you can in Vegas. You can't gamble legally in Houston, but you can in Vegas. So I feel like Dubai is kind of like a little bit like that. And opulence is 100% true. But all of that being said, I felt the most safe in my whole entire life in Dubai. I never felt like, oh my God.
But Nikki, this is not about feeling safe or unsafe.
I'm just telling you my experience. That's it.
But let's stick to the story, because I got to get to another stop on this train. This is about her yelling in public,
right?
And she wasn't allowed to.
I just think
now she's locked up.
It's hard for me to believe that she just yelled and they took her to jail. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there had to be something else going on.
Speak on it, Nikki.
I don't I
Okay.
don't know the story, Diva. What I'm saying is I went there and I followed all the rules that I knew to follow. And I don't think that they're
Her
looking to
own
put
mother
people
says she yelled though.
right. So what I'm saying is I don't think you're gonna get thrown in jail for simply yelling. I think she probably was cussing. Something else was going on. I don't think that these people are just like, let's take her to jail. That's the part that I don't believe. I believe there's more to the story.
You don't think that in the basketball player went over there to Russia and had
Russia's a different beast.
They all the same beast.
No, it's
Right.
not.
No.
You got a 0.2 of weed and you get locked up.
Right, but Russia
Right.
has a dictator who puts things on, kills his own people, starves on people. So I just feel like that's a different. That's not like apples to apples to me. I'm just saying I could be fully wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm just saying the entitlement part that you were talking about earlier. I feel like that's probably much truer. She felt like she could do the same thing she could do here in Houston, Texas, and you cannot. It is a different culture, and you are not probably familiar with it. In this case, you probably do want to stay on the resort. If you feel like you can't keep your mouth shut, you can't respect authority, or you can't respect these people's culture, rules, and regulations, then you probably don't want to go there. But I would say this: I wouldn't want to go to Dubai as much as fun as I had and get locked up because of like what Dio was saying. I don't know how I'm gonna get home. I don't know if my attorney can come over here and get me out.
All right,
if that was to happen. So.
All right, Nikki, let me move for it. Thank you, Adele. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. From seeing the pictures and stuff that she had up, I'm not. Were those pictures and stuff were in Dubai?
No, they were not. Hold on one second. Let me just play a little bit of this.
They surprise you, and Dubai is increasingly becoming a vacation spot for a number of Houston women. One who's there right now, according to her social media page, is trying to get back to the Bayou City, but according to her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tiara Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent. She says resulted in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
And so she is in jail for one reason and one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishable by jail time.
It's been very emotional. There are some days I stay up all night crying.
They have a strict law system that is really based on theocracy.
This website warns, quote, laws and customs are very different, so be aware of your actions to ensure they don't offend while in United Arab Emirates. Now, after Baxter says her daughter was charged with screaming in Dubai, her passport has been taken, and the American social media influencer who works as a truck driver can't leave the UAE, according to her mom. And her mom says she's been placed under a travel ban pending the outcome of the investigation.
It's very frightening. The longer she's been there, the more reality has started to kick in.
In our opinion, she did not commit a crime. Don't punish women for doing the same thing a man can do in Dubai. It's not fair and it's not right.
It's not fair and it's not right. Sir, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down.
Exactly.
It's their law. It's their law. That's it and that's all. Adele, what are your thoughts?
So, I respect other people's belief system, and at the end of the day, I echo what he just said. It isn't fair, but it is part of their religion, it's part of their customs, and that's why you choose to live where you want to live. That being said,
You're breaking up, Adele.
Even though I don't agree with it, it doesn't mean I don't. Yeah, I'm just saying I don't agree with it because at the end of the day, I don't live there. I do respect their custom and beliefs. I have many friends that are Muslim, and their customs and belief systems are different, and they agree with it. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, one of the things that I believe, I'm not trying to take the train off the tracks here, but what I'm trying to say is that one of the reasons sometimes it's hard to get to any kind of understanding with people that live different places and believe different things is because the respect is not there. And if you're going to get anywhere with anyone, they have to understand that you see us. And part of that is to say that I may not agree with you, but I respect you. And that means if you say I should dress this way while I'm in your country, while you're in my house, this is my rule, then that's what you need to do. That being said, I can understand her having a bad moment, but it's just this is a tough one for me. This is a tough one because there's a lot of things I don't agree with. But
Adele, I love you, but this is not tough. It's the law. It's the law.
Not all
here. No, if somebody comes here and they run a red light, you gonna get a ticket. That's it. That's all. This is an open closed case.
I'm giving you my opinion because that's what you're asking me for. And my opinion is that I don't agree with their laws, but I believe that they should be respected. If I was there, there's some issue, and I watched your thing about this too. You said you wouldn't go because what if someone tried to be fancy with you? Maybe you'll be fancy with them too. So that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make also, but I have my own way of saying it. At the end of the day, some people, they don't have the capacity to understand. You don't bring your so-called self everywhere you go. You have to be able to adjust yourself. And if you don't have the education enough to do that, figure it out or don't go. Stay home. Stay where you can yell. Stay where you can do all the little things you can do. But at the end of the day, I do believe Dubai and anywhere else that have all these rules where it's like it makes it seem like you're belittling women. There needs to be a little bit of changes. I'm not saying religiously and all of those stuff. I understand it. I just believe it comes to a place where women can't yell, but men can't yell. Why is that? Like that's the thought. That's where I'm going with that. And I understand with it, but it doesn't take away that it's not right. It's not fair. It isn't. It isn't. And that's my opinion. Thank you.
Am I next?
You're welcome. You are next. But
okay, I want to speak quickly because
hold on, Sebastian. I'll let you go. Calm down for 1 second. This series about driving and accidents. I never drive. Come on now. I don't want to try to pay cash for a Lamborghini or a Bentley. Their vehicles are paid in full cash. Listen, and Adele, yes, you have your opinion, and I'm not trying to dispute your opinion. My thing that I'm dealing with here is it's the law.
Not all laws are just.
Not all laws are just here in America either, though.
Actually, Nikki said this last time. Injustice anywhere leads to injustice everywhere. If you see something that's not just and you don't say anything about it, eventually it can come to you. And when it comes to you, don't say it's unjust because you allowed it to be at another place before and you said nothing. And that's what his point was. You need to say it.
Adele, I'm going to go over to Dubai and say, hey, your laws are messed up. I should be able to wear my booze out. I should be able to curse this man out because he cursed me out. Come on now.
I wouldn't even do that myself. That's what I'm saying. I have the ability in me to know that I'm in Dubai and I'm going to follow their rules and their regulations. I'm just saying, while we're talking right now and you're asking my opinion, I'm saying to you, even though I would do that, I also believe it's wrong.
All right, let me go to Sebastian. Sebastian, wait, LaDon Sweet Tea, I'm trying to tell you, he went to law school, and I want to know what school he graduated from. Lawyers will say anything to get recognition in courts. She broke their laws. Period.
Period.
Boom.
Boom.
Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I'm gonna say my thoughts quickly because I'm gonna drop down because there's actually a resident of Dubai in our chat right now who's trying to get in.
Hello.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
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 Come on
Her
now.
name
Go
is
ahead,
Fatia.
Sebastian.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop down after
Yes.
I speak so quickly, and then if there's
Yes.
time, I'll come back up.
Yes.
So number one, I want to address this situation at first hand. It's not because she's a woman she was being charged. It's not because she's a woman and she yelled. It's the fact that she yelled point blank and period. Number one, Dubai is a very safe country for women. It's actually one of the safest countries for women to be. R-ing is inexistent there because when you are someone, you're put to death. It is the safest place to have women. First of all, women are respected there. There's a lot of female entrepreneurs in Dubai. There's a lot of black female American entrepreneurs in Dubai. Also, obviously, this man has the right to be mad. By the way, this man has every right to be mad. You and your friend took my car that I'm at the moment supervising. Y'all got into a car accident. I'm mad. And you have the audacity to start shouting at me after you and your friend got into a car accident? I don't know what American here would allow that. What American here would allow you to do something like that? Just a little smudge on a rental car. We all know they would be getting all up. But this was a whole accident. Also, this needs to be said. Women, y'all can't. This situation always happens with American women, black, white, or whatever. Last year, I believe a woman from a similar city, I believe, was arrested and went to jail in Dubai for being drunk in public because they don't do that nonsense. They don't have loosey, sloppy drunks in public. They don't have that nonsense. Want to know why it's so safe? Is because their laws actually work. Want to know why you can actually leave your car keys in your car in Dubai? Want to know why you can actually leave your phone at the restaurant table and walk away and go to the bathroom because how safe it is and come back and you still see it? You can leave your cash at the table. Dubai is safe, okay? Just people, when you want to be ra-ta-ta-ta all over the place, you got to be ready for clink, 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 clink as well. That's my message to the world. I'm going to drop down so Fatia could come up.
Okay, hopefully she gets in. In my opinion, you're up.
Oh my God. Okay, so listen here. Let me tell you where this started from. This started when the Housewives of Dubai came out, okay? Let me tell y'all something. Everything y'all see on TV, don't go to no other country and think you can do it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. In my opinion, holla. Felicia, your thoughts?
Yeah.
You broke up. All right. I guess I'm gonna try to come back to Felicia.
You don't hear me?
Oh, now I do. Now I do.
Okay. So I did a little research, and it says the 11 ways you can get arrested in Dubai.
Oh, let me sit up. Go ahead now.
Okay. So heads up, folks. No cross dressing. They don't want to see you in public. Not clear on your gender. And for all the twerking sisters, don't be dancing in public. Swearing, using obscenities, or making rude gestures in public will get you arrested and detained. Having intimate relations with the opposite gender in public. Sharing a hotel room or living together as an unmarried couple.
Oh my.
So they say
try not to go there with your boyfriend?
Nope. They say try not to boast about staying somewhere together as an unmarried couple. You wouldn't want the authorities to come knocking on your door, would you?
Gosh.
It says being accused of the R word in some cases, or even being the victim of an R. Okay. Drinking alcohol in public or non-licensed places, importing, selling, using drugs, promoting a charity on social media, posting anything anti-UAE, and protesting in public. So make sure you're married and you got legal documents.
Child, listen.
And don't hold anybody's hand. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roya, give me 1 second. I hope I'm saying your name right. Is it Fatia?
It's
Okay,
Fatia. Can you
Fatia.
hear
Oh,
me?
yes,
Can
I
you hear
can,
me?
Fatia.
It's Fatia. If you speak Arabic, it's Fatiha.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna check Fatia. Go ahead.
I'm from New York, and
Okay.
I moved over there 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And I actually live in Abu Dhabi, and which is about an hour away from Dubai. And Abu Dhabi is the capital, and it's actually more strict than Dubai.
Okay.
And so, in terms of the laws, one of the things that I just wanted to give clarity on is that there isn't a distinction in the law between men and women. In fact, the United Arab Emirates is one of the only countries where 50% of their parliament is made up of women, and
Mm.
that was a mandate that the president put in place. And so it's actually, and I agree exactly with what Nikki said. It's very safe there, right? And there is a distinction also between the culture and the religion, and a lot of people like to conflate those two things as one issue, and it's not. So in the law, there's this distinction between what you can do in public and what you can do in private. So you can drink alcohol there. Alcohol is there, bars, clubs, all of that. But someone else spoke on it earlier. They're right. You cannot be intoxicated in public because that is something that you do in private. Similarly, with public displays of affection, right? A lot of people use this point as a point of contention in terms of LGBTQ plus individuals. It doesn't matter if you're man, or female to female, or a male to a female. Public displays of affection, like slobbering people down in public and all of that, it's not granted for anyone, right? And it's more about what you do in public. They don't care if you're gay. They just don't want that displayed. So it's similar to the don't ask, don't tell laws that were in the army in the
Yes.
1990s in the United States. But
Mm-hmm.
that's their culture, right? And I understand it's very difficult for people who want to be expressive of their identity. But in terms of this particular case, there's a lot more to the story because, yes, one of the things you cannot argue, you cannot curse people out, you cannot fight. That is not allowed over there at all. And as a New Yorker, as a Bronx girl, I had to watch my tongue. Like
Yeah.
I really had to, do some woosahs a couple of times. But in terms of the situation, since there was damage to the car, she probably has to pay for that car. And until she pays for that car, it's not a matter of, just the cursing and the yelling and all of that, because you can get fines for that. But this is property that was damaged. And so they took her passport as collateral. And so that is the part where the part I had in terms of the ways in which they report the story is that it's like, oh, it's because she was a woman yelling. But I know from living there, I felt more respected as a woman, especially as a Black woman in that country than I ever have in America. Which
Wow.
is why I want to stay there for as long as I can.
Okay. Well, you know what's interesting? Thank you for coming up and giving your insight. Her mother did half say it. So you see how people are slick with their words? Because her mother said she came back to retrieve her items that she left in the car, and they told her she could not get it until she paid some undisclosed amount. And I was saying to myself, why would she have to pay money to get her stuff back? But now that you add more context to the story, it's making sense. They wanted her to pay for the damages. And my thing is, pay the money. You crashed up the car, and and see, that's another reason why I wouldn't have drone. I don't drive cars when I go away like that. That's just me. I have my own set of rules because I don't want to get into an accident. I don't know the driving pattern, even when I'm still in the States, because I know the driving pattern where I drive around in New Jersey, where I live, right? I know the driving pattern when I go to 125th Street, Harlem in New York, and where I used to live in the Bronx, this, that, and the other. I know the patterns. I do not like driving in Manhattan because it's every man for himself. And those yellow cabs, they will run you over. Okay. So with that being said, when I go away, I don't know the driving pattern. And I don't want to get myself involved like that. So where's the taxi? Where's this car service? I go to the concierge and said, I'm trying to go here, there, wherever. Can you call the car people for me? And if the car people can't get me there, I'm not leaving the resort. That's it.
And then the other thing is this country, I mean, Dubai, as you said, everyone is going there. They really, really, really want tourists to come there, right? For a long time, there has been miseducation about what the Middle East is. That is America's biggest asset. They have people thinking Africa is a way. They have people thinking the Middle East is a way. I mean, people just started feeling comfortable to go to Ghana and to go to other countries, because of the digital age, and people can actually see for themselves, right? And so one of the things that the United Arab Emirates, this news is damaging for them too, because they don't want people to think, oh, this is the way that the country is. And in fact, there are so many Americans that live in the United Arab Emirates. They have AKA chapters, they have Delta chapters, they have Alpha chapters. Like, there are a lot of African Americans from the South who have moved their families, who are living there. We have a whole Black expat community. Like, it is not what people think at all. And those people don't want to go back to the United States either. And so, it's hard to kind of hear some of the things that are being said, because I know when you Google it, it's what it is. But I've been living there, right? And when I had to come back to New York for the summers, and I'm back in Harlem, I'm just like, my kids are like, oh my God, it's so dirty. Like, we just want to go back, so.
Right.
So thank you. I love watching you. I normally just listen in because I can never really catch it because of the time difference. So I always catch the replays, but yeah. And Sebastian is like, I think one of my favorites of your commentators. He's so funny.
Well,
but yeah,
connected, because he sure did. He dropped down and let you in. I appreciate you coming up to educate us and give us that information, because it's extremely helpful. But I'm telling you, to me, for everybody, know where you're going. Respect the laws of where you go. Respect the culture where you go. And no matter where you go, whether you're in the States or not, you got to follow the rules. The rules are the rules. You don't have to like them, but you better follow them, because you know what? If you don't, there's going to be a consequence. And don't cry about it afterwards. Those are my thoughts. But
can I say one thing too, Diva? Just real quick. I was just gonna say, just any country outside of, whatever country your home country is, especially if they're what would you call it, domestic gross product is tourism. They're going to do everything that they can, especially with Americans and other people like that, to keep the tourist. It's in their best interest to keep their, like how she was saying, out of the news where it sounds negative. And if people already have uninformed ideas or assumptions about said country, they don't want that. They want you to think this is safe. This is a, money city, this, that, and the third. So I think I love that she gave more context to it, but I think it's not going to be in their best interest to seem like they're just taking Americans and throwing them in jail for no reason. That's why
but they're not, but you know, like more to the they're story not telling us. They're not telling us the story. Her mom is.
Well, right, and that's why I said when that.
But see, her mom was being slick. If I go back and play it again, the mom clearly said she went back to get her stuff, and they said that she couldn't have her stuff unless she paid an undisclosed amount. Well, the mom, if she knew that much, the mom had to know that they wanted her to pay for the damages on the car. Right. But see, she wants to play with our emotions.
And that's why I said in the chat, like the guy, that representative guy, whoever he is, I've seen him somewhere before. When he went on there and was like, oh, this is about her being a woman, it's just like, stop with the propaganda. I'm not saying that it couldn't have some small role, but the way he's playing it to the public, it's like, oh, this is that's those people, and they're doing her wrong, and she just did this one little small thing. That's why I was like, it don't sound right that they just threw her in jail and locked her away.
You did
screaming at somebody.
Yeah, you did. Let me let Roy in the building. Thank you for the super chat. So how long did it take to find out this info? She should have Googled it. I know she got a phone. She was just being lazy, not doing research. Oh, I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. And see, my travel agent does the research for me. She said, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, cool. That's why
That's why they exist. That's why
thought.
travel agents exist.
That's exactly that. Because they know. Because they've been there and done that. Okay. Roy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, Mama made a bad decision and she got to pay for her consequences. Point blank, period.
Boom. Boom. Okay. She got to pay. And you know what it seems like? That's the theme for the night, right? There's some consequences and you just got to pay. Mm-hmm. And there ain't nothing else we could really say about it. Let me see. I think I read that.
But doesn't your insurance, when you rent a car overseas, your credit card, don't they say we insure the car? Like every place I've ever been, when we did rent a car, you have some sort of coverage. That's why I'm confused. Like, file a claim.
Nick, you playing though with this comment. You playing.
I don't really have it like that, but I'm putting in new bushes. I don't really have it like that, but I have a housekeeper, not every day. I don't really have it like that, but my travel agent.
Whatever.
Knock it out.
Miss Mac, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Period. Okay, so we got to get to this last story.
Diva, really? That's how you gonna do me? That's how you gonna do me? Really?
How you doing?
Don't make me have to get you together on your own train. I will take it off
that. You even come in the building.
I've been waiting patiently. Diva put me on mute because I had stuff playing in the background. I was like, Diva, I will take this train off the track. You won't be able to get it back on. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
What's up,
hey y'all.
What's up, Smoke? How you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
He's starting with the heat already.
I always do.
I know.
Yes. But no, I'll be really quick with this one. So I actually did an overseas trip in high school, and they went through every kind of custom for each country we were going to. And specifically, we went to New Zealand, and we stayed on a Maori tribe. And the way they do it, they separate the men from the women. That's just how their culture worked. It wasn't if we thought it was fair or not. That's just how they live and how they agree to their society. So listen, you will never listen. As much as I love Africa, you will never catch my queer behind in Uganda because I'm not trying to get stoned or shot up. I'm just saying. So, like, you have to be aware of where you're going. Oh yeah, it's a law. Like they can terminate you.
No, I said, can we say those words on here? I didn't know you could say that, but
can't we?
No, go ahead,
Yeah, but I was like, no. So like, you have to be aware of where you're going and like what is acceptable, what is not. Because, and this is the thing, and I have to be careful how I say this, or maybe not. Just because we're born in America does not give us the right to basically take out our shtick and be waving in other people's faces and be like, see, you should do it like this. Because here's the thing. Our backyard ain't that clean, and we are not the shining example. We don't live up to the shining example that we're trying to portray to other people. So I think we need to pump our brakes, take a slice of humble pie, and just stay in our corner and mind our business and get our stuff together before we try going to other places criticizing what they do and how they do it. That's the way they live. Their citizens agree to it, or if not, they have other ways to voice their opinions. But do not go to other countries thinking it's okay for you to do what you do in your own country and think you're going to get away with it, because newsflash, you won't.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I truly wholeheartedly agree with you on that, Smoke. I'm not going to go to where you are and tell y'all, well, we do it like this over there. Well, then go home.
That part, Diva. That part.
Oh, but over here, this is what you got to do. Okay, so yeah, I
you know what they used to say? They used to say, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
Come on now.
Right.
Come on now, you here right now, so do what you got to do. I don't know, Smoke, did you get a chance to see the story on the girl where the mother gave the girl acid to throw on the people?
I caught bits of it. I was finishing up work when y'all were talking about it, and I'm just like, what happened to the part of just duking it out? If you got your behind whooped, you just made sure you went to some fighting classes. Like you rough it up with your cousins so the next time it don't happen. Now we bring in weapons. Here's my thing. I heard of like sticks and stones and bricks and glasses, but now we bring in like Dexter's laboratory to the fight. Now we bring in chemicals and stuff.
This is not funny. Stop, Roya. This is not funny.
No, but that's how crazy it sounds. Where are you finding acid at to give to your child to throw at other children because she got dragged in the street like a possum? Where that happened at?
Exactly.
Honestly, I hope whoever that little girl is who got that whatever scarring, I hope she sued the bricks off of that woman and her child. Put the child in the detention center under the jail. Put her on Scared Straight. Let them get her together and teach her how to do things. But that is just unacceptable. It was just terrible. I'm sorry. I got my behind tore up many a times in elementary school. I ain't gonna go back to my house and bring back the kitchen seasonings to throw on people.
Right.
Exactly. Facts. And let me tell you something. If you ever just have a free moment, when I tell y'all this movie is old, because this movie is actually from 1987. Like, this is my time. But legit, this is a movie. It's called 3 O'Clock High. Okay. And the whole movie is one day at school where it says the nerd gets himself in hot water with the new bully, a quiet bad boy who challenges him to fight on the grounds of their high school after the day's end. Okay. So the whole day he was freaking out, knowing that once that bell rung for them to leave school, he was going to have to be in a beatdown, like a fight. Okay. But nobody ran home and got anything. Flip said #the kitchen seasonings. I cannot.
Wait, Diva, can I also answer a question? Because Nikki put it out there. I was not rich. Let me tell you something.
Yes,
It took a whole village to have that trip happen. It took my mama, my aunties, my uncles, my teachers, anybody who could spare something to the building fund for me to have that trip. Okay.
You stretching out the milk, sir. Stretch the milk out.
I'm not stretching out the milk.
Crazy, acting like he ain't rich. If you went to New Zealand in high school, sir.
No, I'm messing with
that.
I know you are. I know you messing with me. Everybody donated so they can get on that school trip.
Not the church building fund. Not the church.
You better holler.
But they baby went to New Zealand though.
All that.
Wait, Diva, I was not only doing that, I had my tin cup like Nene outside, like spare change. Now,
how Nene get in this? Isn't that one of her famous lines? Now, how I get in this?
How did I get in this?
That movie is funny. Flip, I saw you.
Okay, what year did this movie come out, Diva?
1987. It was called.
Is it gonna be on Netflix or where can I find this? Is it on free TV?
Probably. Prime. Google it. You'll find it though.
What is it called?
3 O'clock High. 3 O'clock.
I need to watch that.
No, it's cute. It's an old movie. Okay, listen, guys. We're gonna end this. I saved this to the end on purpose because I didn't want to take up a whole lot of time with this story. Because she is who she is, and it is what it is, and what happened. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Carlee Russell. Carlee Russell, who found herself driving down a dark highway. A dark, crowded highway, and she saw a toddler, and she was the only one that happened to see the toddler, with a diaper on. And so she called the popo and said, "I see this toddler with a diaper on. I'm going to pull over and help him. I'm on I-459." Okay, so she pulls over, and then everything went different from there. Okay, next thing you know, her car's there still running. With her iPhone, iWatch in the car, her wig's on the ground, she's gone, and nobody sees the toddler. Then all of a sudden, 48 hours later, she appears back home. She's home. She walked her home on foot, and it's like 10 different stories. Her parents do an interview with Today, NBC, whatever. Parents are sitting there talking about, we was traumatized. Our daughter showed up. We wanted to hug her, but we couldn't hug her because the paramedics had to take her. But meantime, they said the paramedics had to take her, but the police department did a whole press conference saying she walked home on foot. We saw it on the surveillance. So was the paramedics just happen to be waiting at the house for her too, along with her parents? This whole story is a hot mess. Bottom line, I'm not telling anybody to agree with me or connect with me. But I said it when this story first happened. People threw eggs at me, rice, all kinds of stuff. I said something in the water wasn't clean. Didn't sound right. The math wasn't mathing. It didn't make sense. And now they do a whole conference, right? Yeah, I know. I saw the conference. Thank you. I saw the conference. They do a whole conference. And you know what that detective was? He was just cool, calm, and collected. He said, chill. We ain't looking for no baby because there ain't no baby. And I'm paraphrasing the conference, okay? He said, chill. He ain't really saying it, but pretty much he said, ain't no abductor. We still waiting to speak to Carlee. We need to speak to her again. Okay, we need to speak to Carlee, okay? Because we got questions too. Just like y'all got questions, we got questions too. Okay. And then somebody said in the press conference, they said, excuse me, sir, what's going to happen to us black girls now? If one of us go missing now, who are y'all going to look for us? He said, we look for everybody. Next question. Don't worry. If something happens to you, we'll look for you. Okay. Next question. And you know, they asked him all kind of questions. Now, here's the problem I had. He said that, you know, she Googled a lot of things because we found it on her phone. She Googled how about Amber Alert. Yeah, she Googled that. She Googled the movie Taken. But this chick didn't watch it, you big dummy. Because in Taken, a girl really went missing. Okay, it wasn't these shenanigans you doing right here. And she was taken out of the hotel in a whole nother country or something like that. You on a highway in these woods. And your wig's on the ground. Then you said that the abductors fed you Cheez-Its, but then they found out that you bought some Cheez-Its. You said all kind of crazy stuff. At the end of the day, I'm going to say this. They waiting for you, girl. They giving you time. They showing you mercy. They showing you mercy. Yeah, come on now. Yeah, you big dummy, like Sanford and Son. Okay? You listen, they giving you time to hug your mother, kiss your father. I don't know if she got siblings. Say goodbye to your siblings and all that. Because they're going to clink you up. Because you wasted all type of resources and you lied in their face. And you know what? The cops, I know a lot of people that work for NYPD. I have some friends. You know, the last thing they don't like to be played. They don't like to be played. Because they like to solve cases. They like to get on the news and be like, we solved this case. Because they want the public to believe in them. And you had them out looking for the baby, the phantom baby that didn't exist. And then looking for you supposed to be missing, and then you just come walking down the street, knocking on the door, talking about, hey, mom, hey, dad, I'm home. Now, I'm going to show just a piece of this press conference, and then we're going to chat. Because I don't really got all night for the foolery with this chick here. It's the foolery for me. Let me see, let me see what one is this. Okay. Let's see if it plays. If it plays, it's meant to be. If not, we moving forward. Look at with his purple jacket on.
Spelled KeithCzeskleba with the Hoover Police Department. Joining me at the podium today will be Hoover Mayor Frank Brocato, spelled Brocato, and Hoover Police Chief Nick Derzis, spelled Derzis. You may also hear from Lieutenant Daniel Lowe, spelled Lowe, of the Hoover Police Investigations Division. Mayor Brocato will make a brief opening statement, and then Chief Derzis will read a prepared statement. After Chief's statement is complete, there will be an opportunity to ask a few questions regarding this investigation. Keep in mind that this is still an ongoing investigation, so there may be some questions that we cannot answer. With that, I will turn it over to Mayor Brocato.
He's pissed.
Thank you and good afternoon for you all coming today. You know, 6 days ago, our community learned about the disappearance of Carlee Russell, and it sent fear and pandemonium not just through our city, but the entire state and the nation as well. The media quickly joined us to get the word out about Carlee. Our community sprung into action and they organized search parties, arranged prayer vigils, and they took other steps that I'm not even aware of to help in this situation. The Hoover Police Department quickly rallied multiple partner agencies, stopping at nothing to find Carlee. I'd like to take this time to say thank you first to the Hoover Police Department, our partner agencies, our wonderful community, and to all those that aided in some way in connection with this situation. As the days have gone on and more information has been shared, we know everyone has questions. The Hoover Police Department is known for being very methodical and thorough with their investigations. For that reason, we did not feel comfortable speaking in detail publicly until now. It is important that we share this information now so that our community can be put at ease. So at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Hoover Police Chief Nick Dursis. Thank you.
Come on, Nick.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carlee's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll be working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Tzatziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there's just a kid just walking by themselves. Oh, hold on. Where I'm supposed to are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the cover bed, like you get off by the bed. Okay, so you're before that exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards that split or toward 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay. And was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound? Or how old do they look? Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white, Pakistani, or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. Right now? Okay, so is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the shop from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best that you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. All right, and do they have shoes on? No. No shoes? Not that I can see. I can't really see that look. Okay. All right, I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but the officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight, 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. Detectives, the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded, but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data included several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were two searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. Damn. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
Ooh, child.
With that, we'll open the floor for some
All
questions.
right, we ain't going through the questions.
Ooh, hot mess.
He done cold busted. Come on now.
Cold busted.
He had the timeline, and y'all better respect that man with his purple jacket on, because
respect him.
That's lilac, Diva. That's lilac. That's lilac.
Lilac, honey. But respect
Diva,
lilac.
Diva, that ain't lilac. I'm gonna start calling that man Barney the dinosaur because the way he done made them eggs, baby.
He had it together. And listen, he said, we're going to respect her right now. AKA, we ain't giving y'all all the information that we have because we about to go clink her up and slam her down.
Yeah.
We want to give her breadcrumbs to let her know, we know we see you, boo. We see you.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink. I'm going to start at the top. Come on, we appreciate the Jack. I do, because let me tell you something. That man didn't break a sweat. He didn't break a sweat.
He didn't.
He did not.
He let you know.
He read the facts, ma'am, and only the facts.
Right, that part. At
He did.
2:15, she Googled take it. At 3:15, she said, how old is the Amber age? She took some things from her job. He ain't say she stole. He said she took some James from the job, and those were missing too. LaDon Sweet Tea, thank you for the super chat. She said, talking about dumb, stupid criminals. I'm trying to tell you, my Royer, what you got to say? Because we got to rock this thing out and go. What are your thoughts?
I hope this young lady is prepared for the nearest jail cell that is by her town.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, you're going to jail, honey. I mean, the evidence is already stacked against you. You Googled yourself into this.
Googled herself into it. Say that
Googled
again.
yourself right on into it. You Googled yourself right on into it. You know, there are so many holes in this story of what they have gathered so much and what she has shared. I mean, you know, I always try to believe that a person is innocent until proven guilty, but the proof is in the pudding right here. I mean, you literally, the very stuff that you got from Target and the very stuff that you took from your job was the very stuff that was missing along with you. And that stuff to me sounded like health kit stuff, you know, some Cheez-Its, some toilet paper, you know, a nice robe to cuddle up to, you know. These are things that people would take, you know, for, you know, emergency purposes, in my opinion. You know,
hold on, Maria, because we gotta throw this in there. Thanks, Juice Radio. He basically said, I got so much info on her mindset that I don't have to share. I'm just gonna give a little bit to let her and her mama and them know that we coming for them. Go ahead, Maria.
To the parents. I don't know if everybody saw their little news conference that they did this morning. But mom and dad are not on one accord. Dad was looking like, what in the hell did y'all get me into? And how in the heck did y'all gonna get me out of it? Because I don't want nothing to do with it. Mom, it seems just as delusional as the daughter. And I would like to hear from this boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whoever he is. I would like to hear from him as well. Also, you know, Diva, I told you, I feel like that there are 3 to 4 other accomplices that are along for this ride. Somebody else is waiting to hear from them as well. Personally, I feel like, you know, they already sitting behind the bars. They just waiting on Carlee to get out to see what she gonna say. But you know, this is a very sad situation. I did a live on it earlier on my channel, and I said, you know, this is so unfortunate if this does turn out to be a lie, because I really didn't take too much investment in this, because I still have not healed from what happened to Shanquilla. If y'all don't know, like I said, Diva, myself, Love, and Curves, we all were chanting and rooting and sending emails and all types of stuff for Shanquilla. And no justice has yet to be served for Shanquilla. But here we are. The whole world went up for you. And you come walking out of the woods, landed on your street, just surprisingly, and then walked home with a scratch on your lip and a tear on your clothes. They didn't bind your hand up. They didn't take the $107, even though they stripped you butt naked and put your clothes back on.
Come on now with the investigation.
The sock pocket that it was in.
Yeah.
This story makes no sense.
Come on now.
And shame on this young lady if it comes out that you lied. And prepare for your felony charge to be sitting on your record for the rest of your days.
Oh my God. Woo, child.
Exactly, Warrior.
Shame on the parents too. Shame on your parents.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Shame on the parents. Ain't stupid. They know what their kids is doing.
Not parents.
Parents are not. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Parents ain't dumb.
Drag them.
Get them.
Whoa.
So y'all, I can't sit up here and believe that mama and daddy just completely oblivious to anything that's going on. This child, there have been some issues going on with this child for a while, because this whole situation, this ain't something that just come up and just happen. No. This is something that has been plotted and planned. This is also something that you've been working in your mind, and I just feel like that she don't have a close relationship to her parents, like they just plan this to be. I just don't see that.
Whoa. How old is she?
25.
So at 25, we gonna bring the parents because she came up with some whole elaborate scheme and she lied?
Yeah. Because children just don't come up with schemes and start lying out a lot. That's things are taught and seen. Kids just don't start doing stuff. There are patterns that lead up to this kind of. 25. There are patterns that lead up to this kind of stuff. You just ain't starting this stuff at 25 years old, Diva.
So my 25-year-old goes out there, says they see a child. Y'all coming for me?
Diva.
No,
Your child come home. Your child come home at 25 and give you that story. You gonna believe it?
Yeah, that's not the question. That wasn't the question, though. Now, whether I believe it or not is a whole different story. I know my
You
child.
gonna go on the Today Show and defend her?
No, listen. I told y'all all the time up here, I'm not going to jail for nobody.
Nope.
I love the ground my kid walks on. Okay? Thick as thieves.
Right.
Love that boy with everything in me. But I even tell him if YouTube wasn't so crazy, I would let him come on this screen and he'll tell you fact. My mama is not going to jail for me.
I know that's right.
I'm not getting cleaned up for nobody. Somebody need to be on the outside. I put money on your books. I write to you. I'm going to tell you I love you. When they got visiting hours and I could show up, I'm going to show up. If they allow me when I get there to hug you and kiss you, I'm going to hug and kiss you. But I ain't going to jail for nobody. I'm not.
Well,
So
and
what
Jersey
the
Girl
question
brought up a great point. Jersey
What?
Girl said a perfect thing. She still lives at home with her parents. So that means she got to abide by her mama and daddy's rules. So what they say goes. What they say goes.
So you think they told her to lie? Y'all gotta
I don't know.
That little girl, mama told her to throw acid on that little girl.
No, this girl is 25. You telling me that her
That
mama
mom and daddy sat up on that Today Show and sat there and said, "We want these abductors to be found."
because
Yes,
they
they
was
going along with the
believing
lie.
their child. They was
Mhm.
believing their child. Listen, I'm not saying it is me, but there are children that are darn near 9 months pregnant in the home with their parents, and their parents don't know until they deliver the baby. I promise you this happens.
Yeah, I believe it.
There are kids that live in the home with their mother, will go outside, deliver the baby, put the baby in the trash can, and later on the parents have somebody knocking on the door because they done had this baby and the parent had no idea that
And
they had the baby
shame
in the trash
on the parent. Because how is your child walking around your house pregnant and you don't know? Make it
True.
make sense.
True.
I'm not saying it doesn't. Listen, what I know, what other parents know is two different things. I'm just telling you that it happens. So y'all trying to say
I lived that.
the
I
parents
lived
knew.
that, Diva. I
Come
lived
on,
that. So I
come
know
on,
that's true.
come on, Leo. So y'all trying to tell me that her parents knew. Her parents, I 100 believe, were petrified
Yep.
for those 48 hours. Now, do I think as time went on, now I think they were still delusional when they did the press conference on today's show. I
The
think
daddy one.
Okay.
I think the dad was feeling a little something a little off, but I think the core of him wanted to believe his baby girl. I think the mother, they knew a little something, but their heart wanted to tell them that their baby girl that they done spoiled, done sent to school, was in nursing school, is a whole AKA, was driving a BMW, had everything possibly going for her. Their mind couldn't wrap it around to say that their daughter told a whole bold-faced lie on this particular level.
You think they were in denial?
100%. I don't think that the parents were in on this. I think they know for sure now after that press conference.
Okay.
But they
Okay.
also got a lawyer. And I think they sick to their stomach. But I do not think that everything a child does, that the parents 10 toes down know. Y'all
We're
said
not
the
saying
other,
they
hold
know,
on
but
one
it's a
second,
reflection
lawyer.
of them. It's a reflection.
It's not.
But hold on one second. Y'all said 10 toes down the other day when we was having a conversation that my mother did things to this day that my parents don't know. Y'all told me that. Y'all told me that. Y'all beat me down with a stick on this lie and said there's things to this day that your parents don't know. I do not believe wholeheartedly that the parents knew on the onset from the beginning that their daughter was living a whole lot, because the press conference even told you the parents cooperated the whole time. I don't think the parents are that debacle. The parents was living a whole good life in a nice neighborhood, and they was cooperating with the police. I don't think they knew until they knew that their daughter was sick and told these vicious lies.
And when
Right,
they knew,
right.
they were responsible to turn her in and make sure that she was in the place where she needed to be, behind bars, for lying to the police, lying about a toddler walking down the street. These are real issues that are going to affect us going forward as a Black community.
Disagree.
That's true.
I don't disagree.
As I never said that her parents knew, but I count them, if once she got home, I account them responsible if she told them the truth. Yes, because it's your responsibility as parents to keep us as a society safely.
Roya, I just have a question.
You're going to allow
you
your
did
child
this,
to go out here and commit crimes, or you
but
just gonna
Roya,
go, okay, I'm not going to say nothing.
if
I'm going to
you
let the child just do what they do.
Roya, though, if you were her, you were the daughter, the person that did all this, had this behavior.
You couldn't even say that because I would never do that.
No, I know, but hear me out. Just hear me out objectively. You seem like a person that, had, good parents, you go to church, all this, right? Would you want your parents to be vilified for something you did that with your heart, your parents would have never taught you to do that, would have never led you down that way? I'm not saying her parents are completely innocent, but I think that Diva has a point in saying you can only raise your children to so much. There's a prison, there's prison.
Yes, I do. If they stand by my bad decision, yes, I want them to be vilified just as bad as I am, because then they're no better than I am. They're no better than me.
No, what I'm saying is, if your parents didn't teach you those behaviors, would you still want your parents to be vilified when they had absolutely nothing to do with your current behavior?
If when I came home and I shared with them, this is what happened, and yes, I lied, and they continue to roll with it, they do deserve to be vilified.
But we don't know that she said to them,
I
lied. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she came on and said, hey, I made up this big lie. I think she probably got caught in a lie.
I think she did. No, I think she did. I think she realized when she got home and how big everything was. You don't have no choice but to fess up, because you're going to hope that your parents is going to have your back. But in this situation, I don't feel like they should. You need to pay the price. You made a really bad decision, and this is going to affect us. Just like he said, any case we're going to search. That's not technically true. There are people missing here in North Carolina to this day that have not been said anything about outside of the city that it happened in. So they do not do these big old investigations like they putting it on to be. That's not true. And that's my issue.
I agree 100% with you.
Okay, so let's stay in context of this particular story. Everybody's acting as if they just randomly decided that they was going to look for Carlee Russell, and she happened to be one of the special brown girls. Not the case. Her case got national attention so quickly because she made the phone call to the police, and when they got there, she was missing. So the way that her story played out is the reason why they search for her so quickly. You call 911 and you say there's a Tyler on the road. It's like made for TV. There's this Tyler on the road. You just called 911. You told them the car and everything that you was in. They show up to the spot. They see your car. It's still running. They're looking for a baby. They're looking for you. And that's the only reason why they started looking for her right away. And there's no other explanation but that. If it was different, where her parents would have said, she called us and told us that she pulled over and was looking on the side of the road and trying to find a baby, it wouldn't have went down the way that it went down. Because they would have said, does she have a boyfriend? They still would have waited XYZ hours before they put everything into
probably days.
Motion. Probably days.
Because they would have said, she could have left. Maybe she went with her boyfriend. You got to wait this amount of time. It's because a baby was involved. Anytime you put a baby there, people go crazy.
Just a baby.
So I agree.
Because she was legitimately on the phone.
No, I know. I agree. It
was active. Saying that part right there, right? Yeah. So that has a lot to do with it, right? So, but what I'm saying is, I get us wanting to slam the parents down. I'm only waiting on the parent part, because although I feel the interview that they did on the Today Show was awkward, I think that they still was in a little bit of shock because I think legitimately they felt like their baby was missing. And now she shows up on your doorstep. There's this in-between story of a Red Roof Inn and all of this other stuff, right? And so it's a question of, did she call them from the Red Roof Inn? Did she just decide to walk home? There's some in-between stuff that I
The
need.
mama said she texted. The mama said Carlee texted her and said she was at the Red Roof Inn. She then got 7 calls of people to go down there to knock on the doors. While she was going, she called the police there. So here's my thing: if Carlee texts you, why she didn't have enough sense to text the cops and tell them that she was there? It's just stuff like that that just don't make no sense. And as an adult, I expect you got a grown kid, so you got to be in your 40s or above. You know when stuff don't make sense. And as a parent, you can't stand behind your kids and still go with the bull just because they're your kids. Just like you said, I'm not going to jail for my kids. So we know when our kids are lying. And that story just didn't make no sense. Ronald McDonald stole her.
But you know what though? You know what though? In my opinion, none of that I disagree with, right? But I'm gonna put that the parents was in shock and a little traumatized too, right? Because first they had to deal with their child was allegedly missing for 48 hours. I just don't feel like they were in this scheme with their child. I don't. I think legit for 48 hours they thought their girl was missing. And now you get this text. And again, the text was very ambiguous because she didn't say I'm at the Red Roof Inn on corner 2479. When the cops said they got the call and that information, it was just they said a Red Roof Inn and nobody knew which one because there was more than just one Red Roof Inn that they could have looked at, right? So Carlee, I think she knew that she messed up when this thing got bigger than she can get a hold of when they was looking for her. I can't picture her, and I think she left the wig, and she left the wig because all the pictures that we see of her, she has on some type of wig or some type of additional hair. When you see her without the wig, that other picture that they have, it looks nothing like the pictures online, her graduation pictures, and all of the other pictures we see. So she mapped this out very well because she didn't want anybody to recognize her, right? If they showing us all the pictures of her missing and it's her glammed up pictures, so to speak, that picture with her with no wig and no makeup, it looks like a different person. So she knew what she was doing. And when she probably checked into this Red Roof Inn or wherever she was at, she wasn't looking the same as the pictures that people were searching to find her for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She mapped this thing out. And I just don't feel like her parents knew on the onset. Do I believe when they first they had to get over the shock that my daughter is alive? Then I think they had to deal with the fact that this don't seem right, but she is my daughter. I'm going to go ahead and listen to the story that she's telling me, right? And then they have to now deal with, here they are with a press conference where this man is breaking down the facts. So they're sitting home now, and that's why they hired a lawyer, because they're sitting home now saying, okay, the math is not mathing. Now, if we want to go into their parenting skills and what we do and don't know about our kids, there are a lot of parents that they block out of their mind when they got a child that something ain't right. I can't tell you the amount that happens with. They know their kid is psychotic. They know their kid been in the house kicking the cat, punching the dog, and they send them to school and act like nothing happened. And then when they bring them to the doctor and the doctor asks him, well, does he show any aggressive behavior? Nah. And then you keep talking to him. Well, sometimes he pulled my hair. He did break my glasses the other day. He punched his little sister in the face. I promise you, that's what happens. But
But I like juice comment.
Okay. Thank you, babe. Felicia, your thoughts?
Ooh, tough topic. I was up with Royer earlier, and I'm back here tonight. As a reminder to those who were part of the discussion when I came up with you last time, that I talked about the month of July. And I talked about that 7. and how emotional it is and how erratic and unstable we can become. And that it's not about what's going on outside of your inner core. None of that is the problem. The month of July is about what's going on internally. And for a couple of days, I have been following this story, and I had no comment one way or the other. I was waiting to hear what were the facts. And today, after the press conference, I says, okay, so she gave a very, very elaborate story about, where she was and what she wasn't doing. But I've got to agree with Royer tonight. This young woman is in a lot of trouble. And I say this from such a place of compassion, and please don't come for me. I'm standing in my own grace right now. And I imagine if this was my daughter. I know none of you on this panel ever had a breakup where you were crying for 3 days. You were talking about the breakup, what you was going to do. You're going to go over to so-and-so. You're going to, I have no idea what it is to have some so-called stripper, whatever, texting you, telling you about some guy you've been seeing since high school. You thought it was real love. Maybe your job is overwhelming. Maybe your parents are stifling you. Maybe you're being oppressed at home and you have this break. And the problem that I have right now is that I have been hearing, particularly from the millennials, about mental health and how critical that is. We need to check in and get well. And clearly this young woman is suffering. And to me, jail is not the answer. If her parents have all that money, you make do, you pay restitution, you get her good counseling, you help her to get well. I get so frustrated sometimes when I hear my people just talking about putting everybody in the jail. The jail doesn't fix, correct, make better. It really doesn't. She made a huge mistake, and I agree again with Royer. She didn't do it by herself. It is a fact that she had a couple of friends helping her out. And when it got really crazy with the FBI and the Secret Service and all the police, they're out. We can't be with you no more. This so-called sister-in-law in on the play. It was all a bad situation. And I just hope that folks can find some compassion. I don't know what it is to be 25 in this era right now. I don't know what she was thinking. And her mother absolutely is a liar. And I ain't going with, she's in shock. And as I said on Royer's show, when her mom says, well, when she got to the door, we couldn't touch her. Well, what was you going to do? Beat her down at the door? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? You couldn't hug and hold your baby? And the reason why I think they were so concerned was because maybe she has a tendency to threaten to take her own life. And they were so grateful that that didn't happen. So we're going to wait and see. And I beg for compassion for this young woman to find some place of grace for her. Because this is too much. Everybody going to the jail. Diva not going. I'm not going either. But most people want to send somebody else to jail. Yet we say we are praying people. We are kind people. We going to stay together. Don't hate me.
No, I know. You know what? Let me say this, Felicia. You know what's funny to me? When Will Smith went on the stage and slapped Chris Rock, everybody said he should pay the piper and pay the piper big. I get confused, and I'm going to use a Chris Rock term, selective outrage. It's like we pick and choose when somebody should pay big and when we should show a whole lot of grace. I beg for grace and mercy for Will Smith. And this is not directed at you, Felicia. This is everybody. I'm just talking here. Begged. That was like, Diva, please. He was wrong. He did this. He went up and slapped the man. You don't put your hands on nobody. And to this day, they don't even want to go see a Will Smith movie or hear about him having a recovery moment. And he went up on the stage at the Oscars and he slapped somebody. And they refused to believe that he could have possibly suffered a mental breakdown. It was impossible. It was because Jada got mad. Will just went up there and slapped the man. No grace, no mercy. Right? We got Jussie Smollett, who did a whole lot and brought racial tensions into it and brought the LGBT community into it, had the world splitting in the uproar. He's running around free right now, and we calling it, I guess, grace and mercy. The thing with me is, I have grace, I have mercy, and I pray. But I also tell my son this, because he drives. Don't drive with the phone in your hand, because the ticket is nasty. You're under 25, so your insurance is already nasty. Do not ride with your hood on your head. I know you want to say it ain't right. We ain't dealing with right or wrong right now. We're dealing with what is. Just don't do it. You have a restricted license because you're not 18 yet. Blah, blah, blah. Don't find yourself on the streets past 11. At the best, you better be ringing the doorbell, putting your keys in the door at 10:59. And if you get caught in the streets after 11, I'm going to come and see about you at the police station. I'm going to we're going to do what we got to do. But the bottom line is you did it. So you got to pay them tickets. So get your little debit card out. I don't care if the balance ends up at 0. You pay for what you did. Now I'm going to go to the judge and say, please, he's young. He didn't know. Because if I don't train you and teach you, somebody else will. So if she walks away without...
I said restitution.
No, you did. You did. And I'm talking generically now. This is not directing you. She walks away. Some people don't learn until they learn. It's almost like when you're raising your kids. If you keep telling them, I'm going to punish you, you don't stop. After a while, they're going to know that you just talking. No. Next time when you open your mouth, say you about to get punished because you didn't do your homework or whatever, you got to start taking away some stuff. Because it is a learned behavior. But I think at some age, because somebody mentioned in the chat, and I want to thank you for mentioning this. So is Nene responsible for her adult son that just got caught with the substances, got arrested, and blamed and gave his brother's name? He's in his 20s. Nene's responsible for that? Or because he no longer lives with Nene, then now she's not responsible? But if your 20-something-year-old lives with you and they in the street acting a fool, the cops should come and clink you up too? The devil is a liar.
Diva, Bryce is in his 30s.
I'm gonna let you back in, Felicia. Hold on one second. I'm gonna let you back in. But the devil is a liar. He did his crime. He needs to do his time. Don't put that on my back unless he called me and I came out there and gave him the pow or the knife to commit the crime that he committed. Y'all lock him up. Y'all call me, tell me he's in there. Let me get the one phone call to me, and I call the lawyer and everything to help him out. But don't be putting that on me. Don't be trying to sue me too. But go ahead, Felicia. Go ahead and then
I'm going to finish. But Carlee's mother supported the story, and she continues to support it today. And that's the problem. I didn't see anything with Nene talking about no, he ain't. I didn't see anything like that. I'm talking about the piece that the mother supported the daughter's story of an 18-wheeler truck and people with orange hair and a baby on the road. Okay? And that's my problem with the mother. And the father was absolutely silent. Like, this is some real bullshit, and I'm about to lose my job.
But he sat there.
Yeah, and he gonna lose his job. That's who's gonna lose their job. That's who's out of the money.
Well, we can't just blame the mother. Daddy sat there next to mommy at the
And
conference.
he was wrong. He should have been in the bathroom and unavailable.
Well, but he was there. But thank you. I appreciate your comments. Small, you're in the building. What are your thoughts?
I just would like to start with a song because I feel it in my spirit. Lift me up.
Stop it.
Hold me down.
I cannot.
Keep me close.
Stop. I
Safe and sound.
I got a headache. I cannot.
Smoke.
I'm sorry. The way that Barney the dinosaur laid poor sister out, he called out her lunch menu at the Greek restaurant. He talked about her wig was found here without his tracking device. I was like, the way he had his suit laid, I was like, oh, they really about to make an example out of you. But I just think it's horrible because even to Royer's point, we hear many stories like this that are actual people that have gone missing and they have not been found. And here you are at your big old age, and I looked this up, women, their brains fully develop at 25. And this is going to be someone who is going to be a future nurse. Well, no longer a nurse. She'll be lucky if she's a CNA. But with that being said, like, I can't excuse his behavior. Like, at some point you have to realize, I know we like to look at situations as individuals, but unfortunately for people like us, it's automatically collective. So when one messes up, it reflects poorly on all of us, which should not be the case. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying for what it is. And so with that, I hope they throw her under the chair. I'm knocking my gavel down, give her the electric chair, because this is just ridiculous. And and when we were watching that conference video, Diva, as soon as her voice went up, I was like, this heifer lying. Ain't no way you are that calm in a stressed out situation of someone possibly being abducted. And I'm looking like, and you're supposed to be. I'm like, take it all. Take the BMW, take the letters, take her wigs, take her tzatziki sauce, take whatever you can from this lady, because it's an embarrassment. And honestly, this might be jacked up for me to say, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm trying to go on a different path, a different road. I'm trying to
Don't say it, Smoke. Don't do it.
I'm not, because then the train will be there'll be no longer tracks.
This is a free country. Say it.
It's a free country. Okay, I'll say it. I think it's horrible that she isn't missing. The way she lied. I said it. I said what I said, and I ain't changing it.
He said what he said.
Why are you incriminating yourself?
Come on, because I got to move on to Leo, because the train.
Go ahead, Leo. I'm done.
Leo, go ahead.
At the initial onset of this thing, I thought it was foolishness from the beginning, because the headline that I seen when I seen the story initially, it said kidnap, not missing, but kidnap, and they ain't had no domestic, no DV attached to it or something with the boyfriend. I didn't even give my emotional energy to it at all. Listening to Sherelle and listening to, in my opinion, and listening to other people, I fully got the story, because I thought it was all foolishness. And I'm going to say what Kat said in the chat. Kat said, interrogate the wig. Find out what happened through the wig. Talk to somebody else. I don't have no energy for any of this foolishness at all. What happens is what happens. If she get caught up in her lies, because the man with the lilac suit on had the whole TikTok, had the whole timeline. She get ready to get caught up in some whole BS, and she deserved it. As far as her parents is concerned, they jumped on the lie and rolled with it. That's something that my parents are not going to do. My parents are like, Diva, they ain't trying to get caught up in none of your BS when you in your 20s and you go to jail. That's your thing. We ain't teach you like that. We ain't raise you like that. You get caught up in that. That's you. We will provide the lawyer. We will put some money on your books. We will love you. We will hug you during visitation. But that's you. We ain't got nothing to do with that. And they will not go on TV and propagate your lie. Maybe the father didn't want to be there, but the mother is the one that encouraged, okay, we going to be on TV. And she enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. So I don't have that much sympathy. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to give it to her. It was spent with the Shaquella Robinson issue. My emotions are spent, and I wasn't about to give my energy and my emotions to no foolishness at this time. I do not have it. I will not have it. I'm not here for it. Whatever happens, happens. And she will have to answer for all these lies that she done told on these people internet, on these people TV, on all the law enforcement and all the FBI and the Secret Service and all that was involved. I don't think necessarily, at first I thought it was a mental health issue. I really did, because I said that on Royale Channel. But listening to everybody else, I think she's full of toxicity and drama that's been going on through her family, and her family knows that she is full of drama. You can look at the mama and tell they might be one of the same kind. Their daddy is not sure. So, I mean, they full of drama. They full of drama, and whatever happens from this particular escapade that she went on is whatever happens. That's what you made the bed hard. Now you got to you got to lay on it. You got to sleep on it.
Yeah, you got
That's
to
the way I
sleep
see
on
it.
it. No, you got to sleep on it. But you know what, EB, you right. She'll find Jesus in prison. They all do. Um,
Diva, listen, Deaconess.
yes.
Where is Dadon with the Deaconess, ma'am? I can't. Okay, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times I have to tell y'all I work at a psych hospital. And I have only been listening. I was listening in, like the other lady said, to Sherelle's World. I think Leo said this to Sherelle's World the other day. I had absolutely no idea what was happening. So I have a little more information, but honestly, with the limited information that I had, let me just be very clear. People who suffer from mental illness can also do very manipulative things. So that means you could be in psychosis, meaning something you're completely unbalanced and making a whole bunch of terrible decisions. Also, manipulating somebody. You can, but they're not mutually exclusive. So she could have been in psychosis. This could have been an onset of something. I don't know what. It could have been an onset of something. I work with people every day that tell me about the people that's outside waiting for the people that follow them to the ER, the police that raped them last time. Oh, I'm sorry, can't say that word. Sorry. They have all kinds of details and stories of things that I clearly know. They're in psychosis. These things didn't happen. I talk to these people all day long. So I'm saying, before we know for sure, let's just give her what I forget the other lady said, just a little bit of grace. I know it's difficult to do because of the things that I believe, Roya, you could tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I think we're in agreement with this. I do think because of so many brown people that do go missing and never get an ounce of TV coverage, that they're missing at all. This plays into that narrative that, brown people lie. We shouldn't take them seriously. And like I think Leo said, it's going to apply to all of us, or someone said something like that. No, maybe Smoke said it. Obviously, the details that are being put out there, anybody with any level of intelligence would know something is not right here, obviously. So that's why I don't even understand why this is a news story. Like, I understand why it started out being a news story. It was a baby or a toddler missing. But I don't understand why we're still talking about a story that clearly everyone knows at this point. Obviously, it's not true. I don't understand why it's still news, unless maybe there's just a slow news week or something. Regarding the parents,
Nikki, it's not a slow news week. You can't start the bus, then you can't start the bus. Say the bus got lost, and then the bus appears out of nowhere.
That's not what I mean, Diva. What I'm saying is sometimes it's like they give more energy to it. I'm saying there's more going on in the world. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying I know the public probably wants to know, wants answers and all those things. So I get that part of it. I'm saying logically, I'm just kind of like, once you realize this is not real, why are we still in a news cycle of the not real? The things that we know right now are fake and phony and all that. That's the part that I don't get. But one last thing I just want to say, I do agree with you, Diva, about the parents. I think it's really easy and very slippery and dangerous to blame someone else, especially someone's parents, for actions of their children, especially their grown children. Now, that case we were talking about earlier, where the mom came and brought the child the acid and all that, 100%. You can blame that parent. I can blame the child's behavior completely on the parent because she came and brought it. In this case, I'm not a parent, so I hate saying things about what parents should and shouldn't do. But I would imagine if you love your kids and you raised your child properly and right, this is not the expectation that you would have that your child would end up
But
doing
you know what?
something like
I'll
that.
say this to you, Nikki, really quick, and I gotta move on because we are mad late.
I know we are. Sorry.
But I'm gonna say this: there's people that were quote unquote raised in the best situations and they turn out messed up. There's quote unquote people that are raised in the worst situations and they turn out perfectly fine. It's a roll of a dice. It's Russian roulette.
Correct.
Because it's about the perception. I could think I was the best parent to my kid, but it's his perception. He may think because he didn't get 5 things that he wanted when he was 10 years old that I was the worst parent ever. He wanted a dog his whole life. He may grow up thinking, well, no, my mom was bad. She never got me that dog I wanted. Okay. So my thing is, there's never going to be a perfect situation when you raising kids. And at some point, it's going to be up to that kid. Even if I was raised with 2 crackheads, that's not I can't use the excuse when I go rob a bank. Oh, because I was raised by 2 crackheads. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Accountability.
You still knew it did boom. You still knew that robbing a bank was wrong. Raised by crackhead, drug addict. I don't care what your situation was. You knew robbing a bank was wrong. Don't come here with that.
And there's plenty of parents that never thought their children would end up in prison for the rest of their life for doing whatever heinous crime that they never taught them. They never taught them. They the deaconess at the church. They the school teacher. They're the mailman. They never taught their children this. But people have the right to self-determine. I could teach you anything. I could teach you, like you said, the best of home. Didn't the Menendez brothers unalive their whole parents because they want? I mean, that they didn't come from nothing, and they still did the most heinous crime you could do. So.
That part. Thank you. Let me move on. Adele, what are your thoughts?
I want to echo what Felicia says. I know of the first parent I said she should be responsible because, yeah, she was very, very much responsible. But in this case, 25 years old, you know, for the most part, they raised a child that should make proper decisions. She obviously had a break. That being said, she went as far as to research and to do all of these backgrounds and to find out about Amber Alerts, make sure there was a child was present so they could have an Amber Alert, all of those things. It's sad because, you know, when you look at the whole situation and you try to take it apart, there's so many elements that you can argue from different places, whether it be, you know, moving forward when people are missing, you know, the fact that I do have grace for her as well, because it's like, what happened to you that you decided to make the decision? All of that. But the bigger part of it, and you talked about the mental health part of it, Nikki, and we were talking about the plane, and just that like we said on the other day, in the air, you wouldn't want a person who's going through psychosis to be on the plane because there's so many other people who are going through certain things. It's the same thing in life, where this is a situation where she's touching a place where a lot of people are sensitive. A lot of people out there have people missing, and they want this attention for the person that's legitimately missing and can't get it. And I think Royer was talking about that, about the fact that there's some people that didn't, certain things that didn't even get touched. And I think this is why this is so triggering, because it's like so much attention got put to this situation, and there's so many people out there begging for the attention. Like, look at oh my God, what did I forget her name? What's her name that was missing, that got killed in Mexico? It's not about. It's the whole idea of how the situation was dealt with. What's her name again? Oh, she's
Shanquella.
Shanquella, please, yes.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't missing. They just wanted justice for her. but I know what you're saying. Smoke, what are your thoughts? Did I come to you already? I did, because
Yeah.
my screen shifted. Sebastian?
Okay, I'm not gonna have mercy. I don't have compassion, as you all know already. So we're gonna just get to the business so we can head on out tonight.
Come on
Okay.
now. Mm-hmm.
So 25 years old, driving a Mercedes or a
Come on.
BMW, I'm not really sure.
Come on.
25 years old, in nursing school, already have a degree,
Come
working
on.
already.
Come on.
As the police officer mentioned, in the search history of the computer at your job, you were
Mm-hmm.
looking at how to rob your job,
Come
how to
on.
take things from your job. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you decide to go on a highway. You call the cops and tell them you see a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And then you continue driving. 6 yards,
Mm-hmm.
6 football fields, y'all.
Uh-huh.
Six
6 football
football
fields.
fields.
That's what the man said. Uh-huh.
6 football fields. For the
Mm-hmm.
ones who don't know how a yard looks like, 6 football
Come on now.
fields.
Speak.
A toddler cannot walk that long. Just walking, not even
In his diaper and a white
in
t-shirt.
his diaper. No other cars stopped.
Uh-huh. Come on now.
So you mean to tell me this girl was probably the only one who had a compassion for a child in a diaper with a little shirt on, who walked for 6 yards?
Come on.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the actual what I have to say. Sis does not need to get a nurse, and she should not be able to sit for the boards for nursing.
Come on.
She should not be able to even finish her degree.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she should pay restitution for the
Mm-hmm.
time spent by the FBI, the Secret Service, the police from Hoover, Alabama.
Uh-huh. The people she traumatized that
The
was
people
looking
she
for her.
traumatized. And your parents better make sure that GoFundMe money refunds back into these people's accounts very soon.
Mm.
It better refund.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's ironic that one of the things that she stole was fed to her when she was kidnapped,
Ain't
allegedly.
that something? Ain't that something?
One of the things that she stole was
Cheese
fed to
it.
her. The
Cheese it.
Cheez-Its. The
Mm-hmm.
Cheez-Its. But now they're saying cheese crack. They're using cheese crackers instead of Cheez-Its, but same thing. I want to let people know this.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying we should not try to make her serve time in jail. Well, because she's a sister and everything. Sherry Papini,
Correct.
a white woman, Sherry Papini, staged her whole abduction. She has to pay $300,000 in restitution, and she is going to be serving time in jail.
Come on now. Talk about it.
So,
Let's drop the facts. Come on now. Come on.
so Carlee Russell you better go back to that. And that police officer told us, that detective told us that they keep on declining requests
Mm-hmm.
for further
Mm.
meetings
Mm-hmm.
and talks with
Right,
her.
right.
You better go into that police station tomorrow morning
Mm-hmm. With your lawyer. Uh-huh.
And
And
give your
mommy and
statement.
daddy. And mommy and daddy. Mm-hmm.
And mommy and daddy, since they already went up on the Today Show, I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know why NBC fell for that foolishness. You better go into that police station and you better give your statement. You better tell the whole truth,
Mm-hmm.
nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, what will be said to you is anything you say will be held against you
Mm-hmm.
in the court of law.
That's right.
Carlethia, I hope this is the best thing that could happen to you. I hope Justice Smollett contacts you. I
You
hope
stupid.
he tells you how to, because you're dumber than him.
He's
You are
not
dumber than
he's not a good example because he's running free right now.
You're dumber than him. Well, the thing is, Justice Smollett's only running free right now because he had civil rights groups come out for him. I don't think civil rights groups gonna come out for Carlethia.
Mm-mm.
They're not gonna come out. Even the AKAs, they're kind of quiet now.
Mm.
Where are you? Where are y'all? Where are y'all? A lot of y'all said, "Not let's not be so dragging with her." And even Candace Dillard Bassett, I have something to say to her. She's now saying, "I believe all women, but this one is just child." On
Mm-hmm.
Twitter,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. People are saying, "Why are we acting like she committed emming someone? Did anyone die? No, no one died. But the time of the police, the money of the taxpayers of Alabama and the rest of the United States were allocated for this young girl for something that may have been seen, may be a hoax, and they have been done for this young girl. And I know y'all want to say mental health, mental health. Hear me out. I do
No,
believe mental health is
Sebastian,
real.
you know what? You speed it up because we are way over
Okay,
time. But
I do.
let me say this really quickly. That you know what set back? You help set back the whole idea that we are just liars. So this impacted so many situations, right? And so many things. Now we all going to be looked upon as liars. Now I'm gonna have to give high level details when I call and I need help and beg them. But go ahead, finish up.
This is my last thing I have to say. And I know some are going to say mental health. You know, we should be looking at the mental health aspect of this.
No, we ain't gonna say no mental health because the police came out and said no mental health in her background. Okay, so y'all can stop with the mental health.
Police are not qualified to make that
But the
statement.
police went to the hospital with her.
Finish up because we mad over time.
We are.
Oh, go ahead, finish up, Sebastian.
F mental health. I'm tired of people using this nonsense as an excuse. I'm tired of it. F mental health at this point.
No,
Sooner
not,
or later,
not, not Sebastian. Let's clean that up. Not F mental health. What the problem is that people want to utilize.
Okay, the utilization of mental health as an excuse for your actions. F it. That's what I mean. Not actual mental health. Not there are actual people who
Come
suffer
on,
from mental
Emmanuel.
health
We still
illnesses.
are. Thank you,
There are
Sebastian. Sebastian.
actual people who
Sebastian.
suffer from
Tomorrow
this.
night, trending topics. I love you. Shh. Denzel.
She is overtime. She's ready to go.
Yes. Yes.
Look, I'm gonna make it very quick because sometimes I get I talk too much, so I'm gonna speak real quick. Whatever her name is, we was rooting for her.
Yes, we were. Come
Okay,
on.
we were rooting for her, like Tara Banks said. Yes. We were rooting for her, and for her to waste.
You bounced out really like.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I do. But
okay, my phone is acting up. But we were rooting for her. We were praying for her and made sure she was all right. But she made a fool. She lied. She lied, and you know what? I'm not trying to be funny. I know some people saying, "Well, show her some compassion." I'm not gonna show her compassion because, for one thing, I hate a liar. Okay, I hate a liar, and it's gonna be hard for people when they are really because it is gonna be some people that is really kidnapped, and other people that is gonna be, God forbid, if other people is gonna be kidnapped, they're gonna say, "Are they lying?
Right?
Are they telling the truth?" You know, and then one more thing.
Yes.
Who made the GoFundMe account? Who made that? And allegedly she was at a Red Roof Inn. What was she doing there? And I think, and maybe I don't know, maybe her parents is in denial. I don't know, but she's in danger. She's done. That's it.
Thank you, Denzel. She's done. Thank you for the super chat. I have two mental relatives. One sister is nice, the other sister is mean. The mean one tried to unalive her sister. The mean one is a pathological liar. Some mental people choose to be evil or nice. I agree. Listen, y'all done took me. This is a record for me. Maybe I should have cut down on these topics. Y'all done took me way over time. And I will say this though. I truly, truly, truly appreciate y'all. We're ending with this. Don't say a word after this. We're going to go. I'm just going to show a smidgen of this. A smidgen.
Okay.
You all first laid eyes on her again. What was it like? To me, I mean, just
so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so investigators are...
So we'll go. It's got to be a part 2 to this, I guess. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But I'm not quite sure how in that interview, everybody's putting so much smoke and heat on the mama. And I don't see what the dad did any different. I don't, but that's me. Okay, guys, thanks for being here. Love you guys. Y'all took me way over time.
Love you. Love y'all.
Good. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Did you leave already?
Yeah.